did what I needed to do today, that's for sure. Man, I'm really bummed it took me this long to do it. I put in more work than this in off season to ride around in 6th, 8th place like I have been doing. So it's awesome to get out here and do what I know I can do. Yeah, hopefully I can keep that momentum rolling and keep moving forward. Made a good push there to catch Craig and then kind of just chilled out, tried to ride behind him and catch my breath. Started to cramp a little bit there mid-race, but worked my way through it. And then the last lap I felt great. Felt really good the last lap. I was able to put in a good charge and bring it home.
This place is brutal, man. Not very fun. It looks fun when they doze it, but by the time we get to it, it ain't very fun.
Good start today.
Yeah. We worked on starts the last 2 weeks at Caleb's, and man, it paid off. And got a good start and tried to run it high, but GB, man, he's had something else to say about that. And once he gets rolling, it's hard to hang on to. And I did the best I could. I'm tired, man. I'm smoked. It was a tough ride. Thank you.
Florida's relentless. You know, there's no break out there. This place, it's got enough fields where you can take a break, but if you do it, you're gonna be losing time. So you have the possibility to do it, but you can't if you're not out front with a good gap. You got to be charging those fields to make up time. Oh yeah, it was. I mean, compared to the first 4, I guess, like I felt like we were a gear or 2 higher. It had a really good flow, but because of it, you could go so fast, and you know, it's got those soft spots and then hard packing routes, so it just catches you off guard. You know, you could almost get going too fast, but no, it's awesome. I think they did a good job with the track. I mean, conditions were pretty solid, and yeah, 3rd place. Can't be too bummed. I mean, I felt like I rode solid compared to the last 2.
Look at that, your top 3, ladies and gentlemen. They went to battle out here in the South Carolina sand, and they are the ones up here on the box. You gotta be loud if you want to get sprayed. Your XC2 podium one more time.
GNCC Racing! Good afternoon and welcome to round number 6 of the 2023 Grand National Cross Country Racing Series presented by Specialized, an AMA National Championship. We're here at the Shaver Family Farm Ironman Raceway for this, the AMSOIL Hoosier GNCC. Johnny Gallagher, I said earlier this week, normally we say this as a cliche. It's not a cliche this year. This has been a historical season of GNCC. 5 rounds of racing in the books, 5 different winners, Johnny.
I don't know that that's ever happened before. We'd have to go to Jared Bolthunner, one of our GNCC historians, to find out for certain, but I'm pretty good at this kind of thing, and I don't recall in my lifetime, or in my GNCC lifetime, which goes back basically to the inception, I don't really recall a time where we've seen this much parity this early in the season. I mean, 5 winners, 5 rounds, and, you know, Grant Baylor, to be quite honest, not really on my short list of who would win next. You know, Jordan Ashburn, Josh Strang, a few others I felt maybe could break through, and out of nowhere, Grant Baylor just comes charging to the front. Hadn't even been on the podium, you know, and here he is, right to the front, straight to the win.
Been an interesting season, as you just mentioned. Grant Baylor, of course, the latest winner in those 5 winners. So is today the day we see Josh Strang, we see the defending champ Jordan Ashburn, or will we finally get our first repeat winner of the season?
You know, I think it's a guessing game at this point. I mean, obviously, after 5 rounds and 5 different winners, not much is certain. I do think that someone needs to establish themselves as dominant. You know, with right now Ben Kelly holding the points lead, Craig DeLong there in second place in the points, and those two guys, the number 2 and 3 spots from last week's race. You know, I don't know. Is it time that one of these guys is going to back it up and say, hey, the first guy to win 2 is the guy that starts marching off with the championship? You know, could it be obviously Stu Baylor? Could it? The list goes on and on and on. But the reality of it is, you know, somebody needs to back up their win if they want to establish themselves as a front runner in this championship.
Going to be an interesting one to say the least. The XC2, how about it? Doing it for Chile. Rui Barbosa, second win in a row for him.
You know, and it's one of those things where they say once you get the first one, and in his case, boy, did it ring true. He gets the first one, comes back the very next round, boom, backs it up. And the excitement level, not back down at all for him. Latin America loves Rui. Rui loves GNCC racing, and I mean, you can hear the chants all the way from Chile.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Mason Simmons, Trail Jesters KTM rider, coming off with a podium finish, and then Cody Barnes getting it on the box as well.
Yeah, been a good couple of rounds for that Phoenix Honda team. Obviously, with Rui with 2 wins, Cody on the box twice. So those guys really starting to come into their own. Ryder Lafferty having a bit of an off round. I think he was in position, actually starting to close up on Rui late in the race, and then had a little bit of a setback. And you know, again, it comes back to now Rui being the points leader. You know, he's really made a momentum shift, and we're going to find out more here real soon about how this one's going to shake out next C2.
Going to be a great day of racing. You've heard from Johnny and I. We want to get some rider perspective, though. We're going to throw it down to an interview with one of our contenders.
Yeah, I think honestly we're closing down to when we're going to see a second winner for this year. Yeah, I'd say there's probably only about 2 guys left that could pull off a win, maybe 2 or 3. But yeah, so to pull off another win, it's going to be tough. Everybody's hungry. You know, all 5 of these guys, we all know we can do it. So we're all going to be gunning for it. And, you know, and the championship points there, we're all pretty close. We all still got a shot at the championship. So, yeah, it's going to be tough. I'm going to go for a good start and just a smooth day and try my hardest and see what happens.
Well, Johnny, you alluded to it. Hey, that first win, that's the tough one. Grizzly Grant, he's got that in the books now. Let's see what Grant Baylor can do here today in round 6, but he's going to have his hands full. We know that.
Absolutely, no question. I mean, with Rui, you know, the backing it up seemed to be pretty easy for him. Could Grant go out and do it today? Absolutely. We've seen him ride very well here in Indiana in the past, both here and at a previous round that was at another location. He loves the Indiana dirt. It fits his riding style, but a lot of guys want a piece of that win today.
Well, hey, you've heard Johnny and I's perspective. You've gotten some rider input. Now we want to see what our riders will face as far as terrain is concerned. We'll throw it to Jared Bolton with a Yamaha course description.
Well, thanks, guys. Man, it's awesome to be back at Ironman Raceway. Yeah, we know. It's not always great riding the same place 2 times in 1 year. When you come here to Ironman Raceway, it truly is a little bit different both times. When you're here in the fall for the Ironman, the leaves are all down. It feels like the fall. That's exactly what it is. It's the fall. We're able to go out in the fields a lot more, do a whole lot of different stuff. We're here for the Hoosier. The trees are getting green for the first time all year. The fields are planted, so we're staying out of those, staying more in the woods. It's a totally different course than what we ride for the Ironman. Now, yeah, you're riding some of the same trails, but we're able to utilize some sections here. It's a little drier than what it is for the Ironman. So getting some of those sections we don't always use, save some sections for the Ironman, save those fields for the Ironman, run some really fun woods, save some woods. The biggest thing here is it's not the Ironman. This is the Hoosier. We're not doing the big hills. Save those for the Ironman. We're running some other really fun hills that we don't use at the Ironman. Why? Because we're using those big hills. Overall, this is a really, really fun course still. It's on the faster side in places, and then it tightens up also. Give a little bit of something, yeah, for everyone. That's this weekend's track description. Back to you guys.
All right, Jared, thank you for the insight and what these riders are going to face out there today. We're going to let Mikey Waynes head down to the starting line for some 10-second calls. We're going to get a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back with the start of this race here today on Racer TV.
GNCC Racing is brought to you by Specialized. Specialized Turbo e-bikes. It's you, only faster. And Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready. And a good afternoon to everybody here on property. This is the AMSOIL Hoosier GNCC, and as we welcome you folks here who are on property, on location, we also say hello and welcome to the folks watching at home on racertv.com. This is round number 6 of the 2023 Grand National Cross Country Racing Championship Series, presented by Specialized, an AMA National Championship. And yeah, I said it. Hey, the Hoosier GNCC, Ironman Raceway, the Shaver Family Farm here nestled in Crawfordsville, Indiana. I don't know what you call the place. I call it home, and there is no place like home. Loving it. We've had some crazy weather this morning. Not raining, but boy, we got a mutter. And you tuned in just in time, as at this moment, if you're here on property, we ask for your undivided attention as we turn the microphone over to Mr. Ricky Towery for a word of prayer.
Thank you, Mikey. Hey, let's go to the Lord and have a word of prayer together this afternoon. Heavenly Father, we do thank you for bringing us all together safely to have some fun together. Lord, watch over these riders this afternoon. Keep them safe. Let them go out there and have a good time together. We thank you for the Shaver family for letting us use this property to have some fun on. Continue to bless that family. And do watch over our military men and women in all parts of the world, watching over us so we can be free to come out here and do this. Do continue to be in control of everything for us. Lord, we just thank you for letting us all be here. We should be thankful that we're here. The sun's come out. It's beautiful, but the conditions are still kind of muddy. That's why we ask protection over our riders. Lord, when we got head down the road this afternoon, we asked you would take us all home safely so we can get back together again one day to have some more fun. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Thank you for the word of prayer, Mr. Ricky Towery. At this moment, if you are in the XC2 class and you're able to step forward on to that starting line, we'll get you guys lined up, and you will lead by example as Ricky Towery makes his way into turn number 1. At this moment, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you, if you have not already, please remove your hats and cross your hearts as we honor the greatest nation in the world with the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, all right, all right. We are just about ready to set things off now. Hey, before we get going, our new staff member, the course inspector, Inspector Gadget, better known as Taylor Jones. You had the gnarly injury. I know these guys are aware of it, and you found a new role with us. Taylor, real quick, tell us a little bit about what is expected of you and expected of these riders.
Yeah, I'm stoked to be out here still. Unfortunately, I can't be racing due to my neck, but yeah, we're out here making sure the track is ready to go, making sure everything's cleared for you guys, and the arrows are up and the tape's up, so you guys have a good race ahead of you. It's going to be gnarly today, but the track is approved and expected and ready to go.
So this has the Taylor Jones stamp of approval.
It sure does. It's ready to race.
It's ready to race. All right. We're about ready now. Let me go head on over here. We're going to meet our pro row, and I got a head nod from Jeremy Holbert that says, I'm ready. Let's do it. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, your starting row for the XC1 Pro Class, riding to the line in accordance to points, and riding to the line first, the 5-3-0 former national champion out of Connecticut on an FMF Factory KTM, Ben Kelly. Riding to the line next, the 3-4-2 out of Morgantown, Pennsylvania, on a Rockstar Energy Factory Husqvarna, Craig DeLong. Riding to the line next, the 5-1-4 out of Hodges, South Carolina, on a Rocky Mountain ATV MC Teely Energy KTM, Stu Baylor. Riding to the line next, the 3-1-4 out of South Carolina, on a Babbitt's Online Monster Energy Team Green Kawasaki, the Grizzly Grant Baylor. Riding to the line next, our defending national champion, the #1 out of Livingston, Tennessee, on a Magna One Motorsports Husqvarna, Jordan Ashburn. Riding to the line next, the 2-1-2 Am-Pro Yamaha out of Duval, Washington. He's rough, he's rowdy, Ricky Russell. Riding to the line next, the #17 out of Denver, North Carolina, on a Babbitt's Online Monster Energy Team Green Kawasaki, Josh Strang. And last but certainly not least, the 969 out of Boonville, North Carolina, on an FMF Factory KTM, Johnny Gerard. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your starting row for the XC1 Pro Class here at the AMSOIL Hoosier GNCC. And I know we're still working. Don't remove the meat yet. That's what I heard. So we got a couple of minutes here. I know they're focused. I know they're ready. I know they're poised. All right, Mr. Tim Cotter, our race director, showed up here to the start line, and I know we got a lot of questions about what we're about to face. So without further ado, please give your undivided attention to our race director, Mr. Tim Cotter.
Thank you, Mikey. It's going to be a difficult one out there. We've just met with our race team, and this race will be a minimum of 2 hours and 30 minutes. So we won't go 2:25, but we may go 2:31. So 2 hours and 30 minutes will be the race length today. Good luck out there.
All right, so we are just about ready now to set it off. There you go, DJ Judd. Hop jumps out of the Monster Energy Activation Transport, jumps into the RMAX 1000, and this is when we say, DJ Judd, remove the meat. That's right. Hey, we're like the Beyond Burger. We just take the meat right out. Just kidding. We double up on the meat. Best believe. Ain't none of that Beyond Burger stuff here. No, sir. A historic season in GNCC. Now, I know we've said that in the past, and maybe it's a cliche at times. That is not the case this year. Through 5 rounds of racing, we have seen 5 different winners. Is today going to be the day? Turn it up. I don't think that made a difference, Jeremy. Did it? So now I got to hold it like a rapper. All right. We need a mic to come from the ceiling for me. So could today be the day we see a 6th different winner in 6 rounds of racing? Or for the first time in 2023, will we have a repeat winner? Your defending national champion, Jordan Ashburn, without a win this year. We know Jordan Ashburn, he likes the mud, baby. Josh Strang, no wins for him yet this season. Will he go out there and get a win? Grant Baylor, our rider, coming off a win in the most recent round of racing. It's his birthday today. Hey, what's better than a birthday at the racetrack? A birthday at the racetrack with a win. Shut him down, shut him down, shut him down! As we are just about ready to roll now. Shut him down, shut him down, shut him down. All right, the main event of us. Shut him down. There you go. I hear a few of you. All right, with the machines shut down finally, I'm going to ask you, Crawfordsville, Indiana, are you ready to go GNCC racing? Pretty good, but by God, this is the home of the Ironman GNCC, the Hoosier GNCC. It's May in the state of Indiana, so I'm going to ask you one more time, are you ready to go GNCC racing? 10 seconds for row number 1, the XC1 Pro. Bang, and we're off with row number 1. And as our riders jockey for position through turn number 1, it's the Magna 1 Motorsports Husqvarna of Jordan Ashburn grabbing the whole shot and the early lead in this one as we turn our attention now to the XC2 250 Pro class. Ryder Lafferty, Rui Barbosa, Gus Reardon, Bubs Tasha. 10 seconds for row number 2, XC2 250 Pro. Zach O, Mason Simmons, Lyndon Snodgrass, Brody Johnson, Mike Wachowski, Jesse Ansley. Oh, I think that's going to go to the 981. Beta of Jonathan Johnson by maybe a wheel's length. FMF XC3 125 class. 10 seconds. Toby Cleveland, Van Gosselin, Jay Snopp, Dakota DeVore, Sawyer Karatura, Jason Liscombe, Jack Walker, Drew Shriver, and Jake Froman.
That close. Liam was that close. He was close.
Oh, a little checkup from the neck up from the 213. That's Toby Cleveland, Red Hat rider in the FMF XC3 class. 250A coming up next. Ricky Towery grabs the flag. Trevor Maley, Cooper Jones, Tyler Palmer, Jason Tino, as well as Gavin Simon, Bolton B. Roth. 10 seconds. William Stephenpiper, Jason Brunning, Tyler Braniff, Lane Smith, Braden Nolet, Mike DeLosa, JoJo Cunningham, Cole Whitmer, Lane Whitmer, and Tristan Landrum. Who wants it? That's going to go to the 2-2-0 of Cooper Jones. Oh, these hole shots have been tight so far. Open A class coming up next. 10 seconds. Dylan De La Cruz, Samuel Evans, Zachary Davidson, Austin Hovatter, Jeremy Wallstrom, Russell Smith, Jacob Carter, Hunter Bush, Tanner Whipple, Alex Luger, Chase Colville, the 7-3-6. That's a 4-1-6 of Kenton Coleman out of Muncie, Indiana. 4-stroke A lights coming up next in 10 seconds. Levi Elliott, Ryan Piper, Huck Jenkins, Caleb Baltimore, Colton Shields, Lance the Machine, Machino, Nick DeFeo, T-Rex, Garrett Mundy, Ty Ely, Matthew Hollenbeck, Gavin Sievenpiper, Eli Childers, Van Adams. That's going to be the 4:09 of Van Adams grabbing the whole shot, and early lead right there as we turn our attention now to the junior A 25 plus. 10 seconds. Adam Mashinsky, Sam Shaver, Matthew Bell, Benjamin Fricks, Wesley Schmidt, Ted Mullins, Brad Esper, Aaron Higgins, Joshua Twack, Caleb Williams, Gregory Funk. Who's got the funk? Gregory's got the funk. Matt Modick. That looked like 813 Luke Prager on that LoJack cycle sales ride. 150A coming up next. Tyler Shields, Keelan Pittman. 10 seconds. Daniel Starnes, Anthony Wagler, David Johnson, Jason Crawford, and Thor Powell. And here they come. Oh, let's go side by side. Look at the focus. It's 217 on the machine. I think that's Shields. That's Tyler Shields grabbing the whole shot, and early lead there as we take a look at the senior A 40 plus. 10 seconds. Joe Marsh, Frank Messina, Cody Hosta, Joshua Wyatt, Vinny Tomich, Justin Gale, Mark Folk, Luke Krasinski, Stephen Meacham, Joel Stoll, Zach Ballbridge, Jason Wynn, Kyle Dengler, and Darren Darmus. 071. That is Frank Messina out of Campbell Hall, New York on a Scott's Dunlop back ride. Vet A 30 plus coming up next. Mark Carrasco, Ryan LoJack, Sammy Doris in 10 seconds. Brandon Cook, Michael Funk, Daniel Sims, Wesley Gustine, Kevin Depew, James Bauer, and Mikas Gomez. Rider down right after turn number one. That's, I did not quite catch. Oh, it's Mark Carrasco out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on an SRT off-road back ride. 250B coming up next. 10 seconds. Ty Atkinson, Robert Wise, Rivers Morris, Brain Croft, Andrew Adams, Theodore Dean, Jared Anderson, Ryan Marshall, Braden Sylvester, Devin Moore, Brady Robbins, Logan Johnson, Lucas Rubenstein, Callan Sudo, Connor Carrier, and Logan Pellegrini. The 228 Rivers Morris on that Battery Park Off-Road and XC Gear back ride. Open B coming up in 10 seconds. Chandler Taylor, Matthew Harris, Arton Shelley, Braden Cole, Cameron McCoy, Lane Morrison, Ethan Smith, Colton Coons, Taylor Myers, Dalton Garrick, Austin Bratcher, Anthony Oplinger, Jacob Maynard, and Nate Garrison. The 353 of Braden Cole out of Sterling, Illinois on a Kawasaki. Grabs a whole shot and early lead there as we turn our attention now to the 4-stroke B lights in 10 seconds. Rayleigh Messer, Hunter Barron, Clayton Robbins, Randall Zierden, Eddie Kelly, Drew Hoffman, Bryce Alcree, Dalton Robbins, Brock Belsol, Dylan Miller, Keenan Rupp, Peyton Wilds, Preston Horton, Robert DeLahey, and Corbin Johnson. We're good and clean through turn number one. And it's going to be the 4-6-5 of Dylan Miller out of Mount Morris, Pennsylvania. Here we go, Junior B, 25 plus in 10 seconds. Alex Grunder, Dylan Barlett, Colin Fairs, Terry Williams, Devin Hall, Logan Robinette, Trenton Madison, Jacob Staten, Leroy Petrie, Ty Roberts, Doug Hughes, Douglas Randolph, Dylan Davis, Travis Barton, Aaron Waldrop, Luke Hendrickson, and Billy Saliga. The 925, foot slipping off the peg, it doesn't matter. Mama, there goes that man, Billy Saliga, with the whole shot and early lead. 150B, 10 seconds. Brady Beerbaum, Gavin Hampton, Reggie Wolf, Caden Childers, Noah McGraw, Hayden Harris, Briar Menace, Trevor Golden, and Charlie Watson. Here they come. Go! One rider coming off of the machine. There's the 317 of Brady Beerbaum out of Hayworth, Illinois, aboard the Gas. Senior B, 40 plus, coming up next. Ricky Towery making his way back into turn number 1. George Kleins out of Medina, Ohio, and Larry Hopper out of Pennsylvania, ready to roll in 10 seconds. Senior B, 40 plus. Oh, he's a lone wolf. Man, hey, listen, this man rolls by you. He's got the whole shot in the bag, I'm telling you right now. Make some noise for the man. Woo! Go get it. That's Larry Hopper right there. Stiller Motorsports back ride. 10 seconds. Vet B, 30 plus. Adam Odell, Rick Stanley, Scott Hopper, Zachary Taylor, Thad Creasy, Ryan Casemeyer, Dylan Zortman, Chris Harris, Kenny Horwath, Benton Wingrove, Brian Kelsey, Sean Kilkenny, Zachary Sanders, David Rudder, Alex Pappas. That was a 9. Boys, either the 936 or the 959. I'm not 100%, but hey, they got the whole shot. Credit where credit's due. All right, let me take a look at that start line. We are good. We are clear. You are free to move about the property. We're going to take a short commercial break, get a word in from our sponsors, and when we come back, we've got some AMSOIL Hoosier GNCC. We'll be right back in just a moment.
All-new Yamaha YZ450F. Narrower, more compact, and lighter. Built to do one thing: go faster. Flexible financing options offered directly through Yamaha are available. See your local Yamaha dealer today.
Born of family values and a homegrown work ethic, Cometic Gaskets seals your machine so you can focus on the finish line. Cometic Gaskets are the competitive standard for racers who demand the very best. Cometic Gaskets are constructed from superior materials designed to perform in the most demanding environment, whether it's championships on the line or a day in the dirt with friends. Professionals and enthusiasts depend on Cometic. Cometic Gaskets, sealing championships since 1989.
AMSOIL runs on freedom and has since 1972. We punish our products firsthand in our world-class laboratories and beyond, because some things can't be learned from a test tube. Run with us.
Last season was my best season ever by far. I won a lot of races. I won a championship, and it was also my first year using ARMA. And one of the things I noticed was just my ability to string good days together. You know, like especially in the summertime in Florida, where you're riding every day and the heat index is 108 degrees and you're doing 230s and going to the gym and bicycle and all that stuff. I think in the past I've been super inconsistent day to day. Yeah, I may have a good race here or a good day during the week there, but overall I think where I improved the most was my consistency in my recovery.
GNCC Racing is brought to you by Specialized Turbo e-bikes. It's you, only faster. And Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the 2023 AMSOIL Hoosier GNCC. This is round number 6 of the Grand National Cross Country Series and AMA National Championship. My name is Jackson Burrow and I'm alongside Zach Heron and Johnny G. And of course you've already heard from our main man Mikey Waynes with the 10-second calls. Stay tuned as Zach recaps the start of this race.
Yeah, thanks, Jackson. Here we are, the halfway point of the 2023 series, and we're kicking things off. We got a little rain this morning, but I think it's going to shape out to be a great Hoosier course out here as we take a look at the Specialized start recap, starting off with the XC1. And they put a lot of work in, a very different looking starting area compared to the ATVs yesterday. But how about that? The reigning champ, watch him running up the inside. Not a lot of contact, but a little push there to make sure he secured that first place spot. And the Magna 1 Motorsports Husqvarna, Jordan Ashburn, grabs the whole shot with Ricky Russell just behind. Ben Kelly fighting with Stu Baylor for the final podium spot. And it looks like Craig DeLong, Johnny G, and then Grant Baylor and Josh Strang as they head into the woods. Now taking a look at the XC2 class. A little bit of contact in this one as well. A good drive coming up the inside for the Phoenix Honda of Wachowski. But looks like he might have gotten together with Riordan. They went swinging wide. Then underneath swept, I believe that was Jonathan Johnson actually grabbing the whole shot there on the Beta machine. And look at that, immediately battling. I think that may be one of the Phoenix Honda boys sweeping around as they get ready to make their way into the woods. And that is that XC2 class. Now taking a look at the XC3 125 Pro-Am class. The 125 two-strokes out there getting it done. And the guy to get it done, you saw the pop wheel hop up there, but Toby Cleveland on that 213 Husqvarna taking a look over. And I'm telling you what, he has been dynamite off the start all year long. But Toby Cleveland gonna lead them off into the woods for the 125 class. Beautiful shot here from that Yamaha live drone. A great look as the riders make their way into the woods here to start off this race. But that was the Specialized start recap. Here's a couple of our riders out there on course. This is mile 5. And Jackson, we've been talking about it all day. This course really shaping up interesting. It was sloppy this morning. We take a look at our trap map here. Very different than what we saw yesterday. It was dry, actually ideal conditions for the ATVs. But here for the bikes, it rained a ton last night. It rained this morning in the youth race. But the sun has come up and it's starting to dry out. Very tacky with a slippery hard base underneath. Going to be complicated for these riders to navigate.
As our morning races went on, Zach, like you said, it just shaped up. It's really getting tacky. As we saw the first thing this morning, it was sloppy top of mud. Now it's getting down to that hard base. We've got some loose stuff on top, and it's getting tacky. And there is Stu Baylor. I'm getting told that is our leader on the track right now. So Stu out front.
And Stu Baylor looked like he was fighting with Ben Kelly there right around the 3rd place spot when they were heading into the woods. But he has made some quick moves. So it's Jordan Ashburn now sitting in 2nd. Ricky Russell 3rd. There's Ben Kelly now checking in 4th. Craig DeLong 5th, taking a look over his shoulder. Try to see who's popping up next. There's Johnny Gerard. And so how about that Stu Baylor on the Rocky Mountain ATVMC, Teely Energy KTM moving into the lead early here at the halfway point. We've talked about it, 5 different winners in 5 rounds. And honestly, we both said it when the rain started to fall. I said if I was Josh Strang or Jordan Ashburn, I'm probably doing a rain dance right now. Jordan Ashburn grabbing the whole shot, sitting in 2nd right now.
Yeah, Zach, we'll just have to see how the course is. I don't know if it's really muddy enough to suit the mud riders necessarily. You know, we see some mud over there to the left of the screen. But on the low lines places like this where all the rain comes, I feel like it's going to be super muddy like that. But when you get up into these fields where the wind and the sun's been hitting it, it's going to dry out a lot. And we had our ATVs on it yesterday, packing that soil down. Me and you went last night and tapped on it, and it sounded like a piece of wood. So, and not only that, it's solid black around the finish line there where you can see on the right that zigzag. It was completely black from tire marks.
Yeah, no, and it's so crazy to look at this course today compared to what we saw for the ATVs yesterday. You saw that huge puddle of standing water, completely non-existent yesterday. Stu Baylor actually, surprisingly, to me at least, choosing to go a little towards the middle. I thought he would go up toward the right-hand side, try to avoid that water. We actually got word that one of our youth racers did a similar thing, front end tucked into the water. He face planted into that huge puddle. So some standing water in spots still, but we've also seen several spots where dry dirt is starting to show. Like you said, Jackson, the four-wheelers packed it down so much yesterday. These bikes are starting to cut down. You see right there, that was a perfect example. Starting to take alternate lines. Stu Baylor getting out of the main rut.
Jordan Ashburn on screen on the bottom right. That is Ricky Russell on your top left. Seems like they're taking kind of the same lines, it looks like, most everywhere so far.
Yeah, and we talk about the pacing of these races. Now, for those of you at home, if you're just joining us, this will be a 2.5-hour minimum race as we see the riders making their way through pit road for the first time. Possibly going to be grabbing some hydration. I don't believe we'll be seeing anybody stopping quite yet.
A lot of standing water here in this section.
Yeah, it's so crazy. We were down there just yesterday, Jackson. Didn't look anything like this. Our e-mountain bike series, right where you see Stu Baylor coming, they were riding down that yesterday. There was dust being kicked up. Now we see Jordan Ashburn splashing through the puddles, and Ricky Russell not too far behind. I can't help but think you see the top 3 spread out at the moment, but they're just spread out enough to where they're not eating roost off of one another. Ooh, Jordan Ashburn getting caught up in a pretty thick line there. He's actually going to lose a little bit of time to the Ampro Yamaha of Ricky Russell. But here we go, once again, getting a wide open shot of your leader. That is Stu Baylor out front at the moment. And I think Stu is going to try to do as much as he can to get away early. He knows this is not a full 3-hour race. Going to try to make the most of it. Jordan Ashburn hanging on right there as well. So it looks like he was pulling a tear off there. Something we had talked about today, Jackson. Vision obviously going to be critical. Ben Kelly starting to get into this mix as well. Wow, look at that. The Red Bull KTM rider had closed in on the back of the Ampro Yamaha. Looks like Ben Kelly is going to be getting into this fight as well.
Yes, and speaking of Ben Kelly, he is our points leader this round. He has 113 points. He's followed closely by Craig DeLong with 110. Stu Baylor, though, our leader, is right there with 98 points. He didn't get any points at the last round, so that put him 3rd in points for the 2023 season. So if he's able to hang on to this will be some much needed points.
Yeah, without a doubt. And talk about the points, sitting in that 5th place spot is your defending champion, Jordan Ashburn. And Jordan, this is exactly what he was wanting to do. We know he hasn't had quite the results he's been looking for. Nothing bad, but we talked about it when he got that first podium of the year. He kind of had a sigh of relief, got the monkey off the back, and I know know your defending champion is wanting to be on the center of the box before it's all said and done, but he's got to get through Stu Baylor, and we both know that's a tough thing to do.
Most definitely, Zach. And man, just look how tacky that ground is. Just like you were saying before, it's so tacky. When you walk through it, it just sticks straight to you. There's not real. It's sticky mud. I can't express that enough. So these guys' bikes are going to be heavy. It's going to be a long race for them with a 2.5 hour minimum. And if they go across the finish line at 2:29, we're doing another lap, so that might get it close to a 3-hour race. We'll just have to see how things shake up.
Yeah, it will be interesting to watch the way the clock plays into this as we take a look at the FMF PowerPoint. Jackson, talk about location. This is the first time for both of us being on this Ironman facility. This is the AMSOIL Hoosier, of course, the same location for the Ironman later in the year. But man, beautiful up here in Indiana. We had a great day yesterday, and I'm telling you, as soon as the rain went away, we're back in beautiful Indiana. Mikey Wayne's World, if you would, the local legend out here. And I'm telling you, this is great racing, a great way to kick off the northern rounds and the halfway point of the season.
Most definitely, Zach. And I know some people at home might be wondering, where are all the hills? Where's Ironman Hill? They're going to save that for the Ironman race. And I believe we have cut out some of the harder, we saw some very super steep hills, almost inverted back towards you. So I believe we have cut those out of the track just for everybody's safety. I can't say that would necessarily be a bad thing at all with the conditions that are out on the track now.
Yeah, not a, we got a whole crew as far as people out there deciding what's best for the racers. Obviously, safety a top priority. We want the course to be challenging, but we don't want it to be dangerous.
And because not only, Zach, are our pros out there, but we have all the amateurs in GNCC. They are the heart of GNCC, and they're out there with these guys. You'll see some of them later. We'll put some scores from some of them up on the board, try to see where they are, where our top amateurs are here in a little while. But yes, there's a lot of people on the course. It's not just the pros, it's also all the amateurs.
I'm telling you what, look at this Yamaha live drone shot. Absolutely fantastic. Getting out there in the wide open fields and line selection, it's really cool to be able to watch this from up above. As we saw a little bit earlier, Stu Baylor kind of diamonding off those corners, tucking in. It'll be interesting to see how that pays off. Even if he doesn't take those every lap, a lot of times these guys try to spot a line that they can maybe use in the end. But right now, Stu Baylor trying to hit the afterburners and run off early with this XC1 lead. Now getting into the green trees, we lose it for a second. We catch the flashes of blue gear and the orange fenders, but a good sign not only for Stu Baylor, but for the entire Rocky Mountain ATVMC Teely Energy team. Obviously had their issues last round at Camp Coker, so a great way to see them rebounding. And here at the halfway point, perfect time to regroup, refigure things out, make sure you got everything working like it needs to, and come out swinging. That's exactly what they did.
That's exactly what he did. Maybe we can get a shot and see if anything is shaken up in second and third. We know Gabe's doing his best out there. The trees are starting to thicken up as we get later into the year, so we were a little spoiled with the first couple of rounds, Zach.
Man, I'm telling you what, as the foliage starts to fill out, it gets more and more difficult, but I cannot stress enough how much I love these drone shots, getting over top, being able to see the action. But let's talk about it for the moment. So we've got Jordan Ashburn, your defending champ, in second. Ricky Russell, the last time we saw, was under heavy pressure from Ben Kelly, and we've seen those two go back and forth several times. You go back to our first couple rounds, Ben Kelly and Ricky Russell played a game of yo-yo for almost an hour and a half before ultimately battling it out to the finish. So we know those two are able to go the distance.
Definitely, Zach, as we look here to see if we can spot Stu Baylor coming through the trees. Looking at the mile 5 marker there. And there is our leader, Stu Baylor, coming around. And then Jordan Ashburn still in that second place. He is our defending champion with that #1 play.
I couldn't help it. It almost looked like Stu Baylor's helmet visor was knocked down a little bit. I'm not sure whether that was intentional, maybe to try to deflect a little more roost or what. But there is Ricky Russell. Ben Kelly still behind. Beautiful shot here trying to get a rundown on your XC1. Craig DeLong still strong there in third. He was the winner at our last quote-unquote mutter. Well, it definitely was a mutter there. I don't know if this would classify anything like what we saw at the General. Wasn't quite sure. I missed that last rider there. I know we've got Josh Strang checking in as well. May have been Johnny Gerard, I'm not 100% sure, but the XC1 actually staying relatively close to one another, especially that top group. Jordan Ashburn not letting Stu Baylor run away with it right now. Here we go, now getting a look at our front runners in the XC2 class. and I believe that's definitely a Phoenix Honda out front. I think that is Mike Wachowski leading the way.
Strang, I believe.
No, that would have been Snodgrass. So that's the XC2. Yeah, absolutely. A couple more of the Phoenix boys coming by so fast. There looks like one of the factory betas. Possibly a gas. That might be Ryder Lafferty right there. We're trying our best here. We're no Johnny G as far as the eagle eyes. But,
yeah, the sun beating down on it right there gives it a little glare for us.
Absolutely. But no, and even talk about the XC2, they're all pretty bunched up right there as well. Curious where Rui Barbosa was in that. Angus Riordan as well. We'll see if we can get a look who this is.
And guys, just to give you a little idea of what it's like to be here this morning, it was, I wouldn't say real cold by any means, but it was a little bit chilly. Now it is starting to warm up. As you see, the sun has came out glaring very hard, and it is really starting to warm up. It is very humid and hot here. The riders are going to be going through it today, Zach.
Well, and we talk about vision a lot as far as deciding what type of goggle system we run, tear-offs compared to roll-offs. Talking to Scott Goggles here on site today, it was actually interesting. They consider that type of stuff when deciding what to go with as far as the humidity in the air. Oftentimes, if it's wet, the sun comes out, starts heating it up. With the roll-off system, sometimes that film gets real hot and sticks to the goggle lens. And so a lot of those riders choosing to go with tear-off systems. He said it's going to be interesting. The dirt is so tacky, you're going to want a full field of vision to be clear. But I don't know if it's sloppy enough in those wet spots to force you to have to run a set of roll-offs. But a lot more action in store here, as right now Stu Baylor leads the way in the XC1 class. But right now we're going to get a word from our sponsors, and we will bring it back to round number 6, the AMSOIL Hoosier GNCC.
The United States Motorcycle Coaching Association has been setting a standard for motorcycle coaching since 2016. Coaching is important for all riders, no matter the age or skill level. The USMCA connects riders with coaches, whether the rider is just starting out on their motorcycling journey, to a competitive amateur racer looking to reach their next milestone, or the professional athlete trying to clinch a title. Download the Motorcycle Coaching app and get connected to a USMCA certified coach today.
How would you like to go to a school where we take into consideration how students learn best? Well, we do that because we find if we can build the curriculum around the things you are interested in, you're going to do a better job. The mission at On Track School is that educational success is possible while chasing your dreams. Not only will our staff help students to achieve success, they will cheer you on to the finish line. We encourage you to check out On Track School at ontrackschool.com, where we can help you chase your dreams and still get a quality education.
ontrackschool.com. Check it out.
In the premier form of off-road motorcycle racing in the world, it's the beginning of a new era. 17 Supercross, 11 motocross, and those 3 playoff rounds.
Super Motocross World Championship Final. Tickets on sale now. Visit supermotocross.com.
30-second card is up. We've talked all about it. We've watched practice and qualifying. We've theorized. We've bench raced. Now it is time to go. Ropes are up. Gates down. Side by side we go. Jet Lawrence, Justin Cooper in front of the crowd. Winner from Chase Sexton. Did anyone else get up in the mix? They have been 1-2 in the last 7 motos of this championship. Here we go.
Every race, every day, in every way. Print, social, digital, video, photo. Every race, every day. Every result, every story, every rider, everything. Moto every day with Racer X.
GNCC Racing is brought to you by Specialized Turbo e-bikes. It's you, only faster. And Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. This is round number 6, the AMSOIL Hoosier GNCC. Of course, the 2023 GNCC Series presented by Specialized. And hey, speaking of Specialized, let's talk about the Specialized Turbo GNCC EMTB Series. And man, we had round 3 going off. Jackson, what a day it was. I'm telling you, this stuff is awesome.
Man, we had a fantastic time out there, EMTB racing. And look who is back right there with the number 1, Mr. Charlie Mullins. He's won every EMTB championship that we have hosted so far. So it is good to see him back here for round number 3, missing the first 2 rounds.
And look at that. The top dog picks up right where he left off, sneaking around with a veteran move and grabbing that early hole shot. We got more carnage there in the first turn for the XC2 class. There's Jenny McFall in the WXC class. I mean, such close racing. And I'm telling you, I promise you guys, you do not understand how difficult this is. So many people, they kind of talk about EMTB racing. They don't really understand. It's just as intense as any type of mountain bike racing out there. Honestly, just as intense as the motorcycle and ATV racing we see. It's just a little faster than your normal mountain bikes. Just like Specialized Turbo says, it's you, only faster. And as you guys now getting a look at the dry course that we had yesterday, doesn't that look nice and pretty? I've said, oh, one rider having an difficult there. I'm not sure what that was.
And there's our winner of the XC2 right there, Talon Hawk.
Fantastic ride for him. Really starting to put the pieces together there. Our XC3, man, and he's been on a tear there in that XC3 class. But up front, Cypress Gorey and Charlie Mullins, the longtime champ versus the new top dog. And there it is. Cypress Gorey leads the way. Charlie Mullins just behind, and those two went to battle. Charlie had the position early, but old Cypress Gorey found a way around and started to pull a little bit of a gap here. As now, I believe that's Ty Teasdale on the number 3.
Another winner from yesterday.
Absolutely, yeah. I believe that was one of our Masters winners there. But there it is, Cypress Gorey. He comes out. Guy doesn't even look like he's been doing anything. I'm telling you what, some riders, they can't even make half a lap without being completely out of breath. Look at how close it was there. Charlie not far behind.
You can see the exhaustion on his face as he makes that left-hand corner.
Because he's got pressure right there. Look behind. I mean, the top 3 here really been pushing the envelope as far as the pace goes. But there it is, Ricky Towery waving the checkered flag. And it was Cypress Gorey grabbing the win. But the longtime champ, Charlie Mullins, going to bring home a second on the day. That was a fun one to watch, and it's always so cool. We've heard it before. There's Cypress Gorey right there. Okay, he let out a little bit of a sigh. I guess he was working pretty hard. But no, a fantastic race from all of them. We had the kids doing the Stasic racing, and then the adults, several of our racers, one in particular, said, hey, my husband, my son, they're racing. I wanted to race something too. Got her an e-mountain bike, and she's out there doing the EMTB series. A fantastic time. But here we are. We're back, still 2-wheel racing. But we're motorcycle racing out on track right now, looking at the Method Race Wheels, Method Alley. We're waiting on our leaders to come around. And last we saw, it was Stu Baylor out front.
Zach, Stu was followed there by Jordan Ashburn and Ricky Russell. But looking here at our overall, if our scores are correct, it is Stu Baylor out front. And then followed behind him is Mike Witowski. And Jordan Ashburn is going to be in 3rd overall. Liam Draper is in 4th. Ricky Russell in 5th. And in 6th is Jonathan Johnson, followed by Cody Barnes, Grant Davis, Ben Kelly, and Dakota DeVore.
One rider revving right outside the TV truck there. I think Stu just went by. I see a pit board hanging out. There it is, the number 1 of Ashburn. So we did see Stu go by. Jordan Ashburn still holding down that 2nd place spot for the Magna 1. Husqvarna, your defending XC1 champ. Look at that, feet off the pegs. And look at that, a high rate of speed.
And look behind him is the 530 of Ben Kelly.
So Ricky Russell just in front of Ben Kelly. Looks like that might have been another KTM just behind him, possibly.
Keep your eyes peeled here for the XC2. They are laying down some time. I can't wait for them to come back around the finish so we can get a score on them and see where they're stacking up on the overall elapsed time, because the top 5 there, 2 out of the top 5 are in the XC2 class.
Yeah, and I mean, talk about it. Mike Wachowski leading the way. Liam Draper just behind. Jonathan Johnson still up there. Now look, there's Liam Draper. It looks like he has made the move. So it looks like a lead change there in the XC2 class. Wachowski, though, not letting him get away right now. There was, I believe that was one of the XC1. That was Strang. I think Grizzly just behind him.
Man, what a run for the XC2 Pro guys, catching on up to the XC1. Man, they are on the move.
Well, and has that not been the theme that we've seen overall today? Take it back to the youth. We had our YXC1 Super Mini Junior grabbing the overall win today in the youth race. So we've seen that before, man. It seems something about the conditions right now favoring the 2 classes, whether it's YXC2 or XC2 right here.
Speaking of that, shout out to him, Mr. Caleb Wood on the 414 KTM, man. Got it done today in the youth race. Overalled it.
And talk about it, you know, what Stu Baylor's out front. Stu Baylor trains at the Shoals. I'm pretty sure Caleb Wood was shouting out the Shoals too. Whatever it is they're doing out there seems to be working for the conditions right now at the Hoosier. Looks like that's one of our KTM riders there. Not quite sure on the number there. I'm curious where Riordan's at, looking at our timing and scoring here, because he got shot off wide, it looked like, in turn 1. Ryder Lafferty currently showing in 11th overall at the moment. 11th in class, and yeah, look at that. Angus Riordan down in the 11th place spot at the moment. They're in that XC2 class. Goggles off for one of the beta riders.
Give you a rundown of the XC2 250 Pro class real quick. It's Mike Wachowski out front. Liam Draper is in that 2nd spot. Jonathan Johnson's in the 3rd, and 4th is Cody Barnes. Grant Davis in the 5th. Ryder Lafferty. And it looks like we have some action on the screen there, Zach. There's Stu Baylor.
Check that out. So we've got the Yamaha live drone. There we go. See, Stu took a little higher line there. He must have heard my superb line suggestions. Completely joking there. Absolutely joking. But no, Stu's got something figured out, because he is starting to put a little bit of a gap down. He's not under any immediate pressure. Here he goes coming through the scoring area, so we'll be able to start giving you a read on exactly what those new gaps are. That's pretty impressive right there, what we just saw. Stu Baylor standing on the pegs throughout that whole thing. We have probably seen 50-plus riders fall in that corner alone today, Jackson. At least Stu doesn't even have to sit down to go through it.
Yep, Stu Baylor putting on a clinic right now, but he still has a minimum of close to 2 hours to go. And there is Ricky Russell on the screen coming through the score, and let's see where he stacks up real quick.
Russell made the pass, as now we're getting the updated time and scoring. It looks like Russell now showing in the 2nd, Ashburn 3rd, Kelly just behind in 4th. That was Johnny Gerard now moving into the 5th place spot.
And Zach, all eyes been on the Baylor the last 2 rounds, with his brother Grant winning the last race.
Yeah, and both of them saying they were feeling under the weather last weekend. Grant's able to grab the win. Stu said he's feeling a little bit better as far as, you know, physically and everything like that. And he's coming out swinging right now at the moment, leading the way there on that Rocky Mountain ATVMC Teely Energy KTM. And like I said, a good showing for Stu and a good showing for the team as well.
Most definitely, Zach.
Here we go, taking a look at one of our riders coming through the pit lane there. Talk about a complete different soil change. You go from the still darker dirt to the complete black dirt of the parking lot area here at this Ironman facility. And now taking a look at your leader, there is Stu Baylor hopping through the puddles. He's out for a Sunday cruise.
And Zach, if he wants to stay in this point spot, this is exactly what he's got to do. Missing the last round, he has got to get some points.
Yeah, and Ricky Russell talk about trying to get some points as well. We saw him grab a win there at Tiger Run after some issues at round 3. He's saying, hey, I just need to click off a couple of wins. I need to get myself up there, get the points back up, and he's doing just that. Jordan Ashburn just behind him. The Magna one still holding on that podium spot. And like you said, Jackson, we got a ton of racing left to go, so lots of changes. Ooh, there's Stu cutting down underneath the lapper, able to get through clean. And that's a point we haven't even talked about today. I mean, talk about the AM race. I believe over 400 bikes out on track at the time. Not quite sure the total number that we have on course at the moment, but the lap riders definitely going to play a role in this as well.
Yeah, Zach, like we were always talking about in the mornings, in the morning races, the lappers are just part of GNCC, and that is one of the most unpredictable things that could happen out in the GNCC is run into a lap rider. You just never know what exactly is going to occur.
So we saw Jordan Ashburn at the bottom of your screen there. There is Craig DeLong once again taking a look over his shoulder, just trying to gauge who's behind him. The Rockstar Energy Husqvarna rider, one of our 5 winners. And that's another point that we haven't talked about yet. If Baylor's able to do this, actually right now, anybody besides third place, if they're able to do it, we'll have our first 2-time winner. There's Ben Kelly there as well. And I'm telling you what, you can't count any of these guys out. Trying to see who that is. Oh, okay, I thought that was one of our lead pack there. But the field is not spread out enough to where you can count even Ben Kelly out for a possibility at the win here. We've seen it happen.
Yeah, anything can happen here, especially today.
Did you notice DeLong didn't have goggles on right there?
Just like we were saying, anything can happen. That is not the place you want to be with no goggles.
And it looks
was
like
that Gerard?
I think that was Kelly. Yeah, now we're going to try to take a look at timing and scoring here.
If so, then he has made a pass since they went through the timing and scoring.
Possibly not. They're looking like there is the 10 of Ryder Lafferty. Going to take a look at where he is at currently in your XC2 class. He was 6th the last time I looked.
I do believe that was Gerard. I believe DeLong has got up into the 8th spot overall ahead of Gerard.
Yeah, okay. Now, absolutely. I see what you're saying there, Jackson. Gerard's been having some good runs too. We were talking about that earlier today, looking to work his way inside that top 5 by the end of the motos, but the field just absolutely stacked right now. We talked about the injuries that we saw last year. Thankfully, at the moment, a different story as far as the majority of the field being healthy and being able to battle for the wins, and I think that's why we're seeing such a historical season with 5 winners in 5 races at the moment.
Let's see who we got on screen there.
It might have been Riordan, and it was definitely one of the KTMs there trying to take a look. And you can see just how much the dirt is sticking to these bikes here. We talked about it earlier. You know, when it's raining, the mud is almost slimy. It kind of washes off. It definitely covers everything, but it washes off, doesn't cling to the motorcycle, where once it gets tacky and sticky, there is the 347.
Evan Smith.
Yep, coming through there.
As we watch him go up and over the big hill right there.
Such a cool shot, this Ironman facility. A beautiful shot at the Ironman motocross track. Next weekend, going to be having the ATV motocross out here. Local legend Mikey Wayne's calling that action as well. But for right now, it is all GNCC at the moment.
There is Craig DeLong.
And once again, Craig taking a look over his shoulder. I'm not sure if we've just happened to catch that frequently this race or what, but not something you see a ton as far as looking over your shoulder. Or maybe it is. Maybe they just don't look quite as extensively. But DeLong really paying attention to who's behind him, and curious to see whether or not he's going to be able to grab goggles anywhere along the way. We've seen it multiple times. Ricky Russell comes to mind. Seemed like every time I saw him, no matter where he was on course, the guy had a fresh set of goggles on.
Speaking of, we were talking about the lap riders earlier, and that is something that could come into play if he doesn't get some goggles soon, starts running into the lap riders. That could be a very big problem. And speaking back to the lap riders, though, like we were saying, that is the only thing that you really can't train for in GNCC, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult. A lot of these riders training at facilities with other groups of riders as well, and I'm sure they're more than adequated with how to get around riders, but with a situation like this going as fast as they are, you can see right there in that corner, the inside's not bad, but if you were to shoot to that outside, you're in the middle of the slop once again. So line selection, absolutely crucial. They got to be creative and decisive, all at an extremely high rate of speed. And you see one lap rider right there. He kind of hangs the hand off, telling the rider behind him where to go, and one of the Phoenix Honda riders is able to get around clean. So good lapper etiquette there for that rider. A beautiful live drone shot once again presented by Yamaha as the XC2 field kind of moving through there.
Speaking of which, shout out to Gabe moving into that position for us, doing a great job.
Absolutely, yeah, and I mean, look at this. This is what we have it for. These type of shots right here. Look at this beautiful open scenery, and one of the things we've heard about this Hoosier course so far this year, fast. It is definitely fast. We talked about it a lot yesterday with the ATV races, but even today, now that the course is starting to dry out, you see those light sections, especially here in this open field. The speed is coming up. These wide open sections, these guys are rolling at a high rate of speed, which is great. I enjoy it. You know, I think fast is fun, but fast can also make mistakes. And we see Stu Baylor checking in here at mile 5, still out front.
It is amazing, Zach, just how different the soil is from being down here in the low spots versus up there in the fields in the high. And I believe I see,
I think that's Ricky
Russell and Jordan Ashburn. Jordan Ashburn right there on him, trying to make that move back again into second.
He's putting the fight back on him there, absolutely. Yeah, he was a couple seconds back, and there is DeLong, still looking like he's running without goggles at the moment, but not in no man's land, but not under any immediate pressure behind him as we wait to see the next rider coming. I believe that's going to be one of the KTMs. I think that's Kelly going to be coming up next. And look there, see, getting caught up with a lap rider. I do believe that was Kelly. Maybe that was Gerard. I'm not sure. Both Kelly and then Gerard. Okay, Adam Gordon chiming in, let me know here. So as of right now, Kelly still right in front of the KTM. They were neck and neck.
Let's see
one rider going down here. Okay, perfect example. So we've got this one rider down. Now we've got one of the Phoenix Hondas having to come up. Oh, look at that, having to get creative, find a different line. Wachowski able to get through relatively clean, but that type of stuff can happen right in front of these guys immediately. They got to figure out a brand new line out here in the middle of Indiana.
And look how close those XC2 guys are getting to the back of our XC1 riders. I would love to see what is going to happen when they catch up to that lead pack.
Man, I'm telling you what, Draper there on the AmPro Yamaha had a freight train behind them. Definitely another one of the Phoenix Racing Honda riders there. Wasn't quite sure. Might have been Barnes and Rui. I'm not trying to look at our XC2 standings at the moment. It was, so yeah, I'm currently showing Rui Barbosa in the 3rd place spot with Barnes in 4th. So Phoenix Honda running 2, 3, 4 at the moment with the AmPro Yamaha out front of Liam Draper. Going to keep going down this XC2 here. Jonathan Thompson hanging strong in that 5th place spot with Grant Davis, Ryder Lafferty, Mason Simmons, Angus Riordan now up to the 9th place spot, and Evan Smith rounding out the top 10. But no, that was a great example there. The lap riders, they go down, no fault of their own. They're out here trying. It's difficult no matter what. But the leaders got to make quick decisions. Sometimes they pay off like that, but sometimes they can bite them out front.
Yeah, and Zach, speaking of the leaders, they might be the leader in their class. They are also in their own race, so they don't want to be losing that time either. They don't want to be on the ground. So, but that's just another part of GNCC. That's just another element, and it looks like they've got plenty to deal with, plenty of elements to deal with here today.
Without a doubt. Taking a look, trying to see what's going on here in our XC3 class. It was Toby Cleveland grabbing the whole shot, and that's not anything that we're not used to seeing. But at the moment, I am showing Toby Cleveland in 7th. He is still on the lead lap, but right now the 707 of Jason Lipscomb leads the way. He is the only rider, I believe, that has dethroned the perfect hole shot so far for Toby Cleveland. So the 707 Beta Machine leads the way with Dakota DeVore there in 2nd, and Sawyer Karatura there in the 3rd place spot on the 545. We're going to get another quick word from our sponsors, and then we will be back. Stu Baylor still leads the way out front at the AMSOIL Hoosier GNCC.
new Yamaha YZ450F. Narrower, more compact, and lighter. Built to do one thing: go faster. Flexible financing options offered directly through Yamaha are available. See your local Yamaha dealer today.
Born of family values and a homegrown work ethic, Cometic Gaskets seals your machine so you can focus on the finish line. Cometic Gaskets are the competitive standard for racers who demand the very best. Cometic Gaskets are constructed from superior materials designed to perform in the most demanding environment, whether it's championships on the line or a day in the dirt with friends. Professionals and enthusiasts depend on Cometic. Cometic Gaskets, sealing championships since 1989.
AMSOIL runs on freedom and has since 1972. We punish our products firsthand in our world-class laboratories and beyond, because some things can't be learned from a test tube. Run with us.
Last season was my best season ever by far. I won a lot of races. I won the championship, and it was also my first year using ARMA. And one of the things I noticed was just my ability to string good days together. You know, like especially in the summertime in Florida, where you're riding every day and the heat index is 108 degrees and you're doing 230s and going to the gym and bicycle and all that stuff. I think in the past I've been super inconsistent day to day. Yeah, I may have a good race here or a good day during the week there, but overall I think where I improved the most was my consistency in my recovery.
Tires, a division of Greenball Corp, has been in the tire business for over 44 years. We're passionate about developing quality tires that perform great and bring extraordinary value to our customers. Whether you're looking for a tire that can handle your off-road adventures, need a reliable tire to take you from job site to job site, or simply want a tire with a beefier look that won't break the bank, then check out Canati Tires.
The United States Motorcycle Coaching Association has been setting a standard for motorcycle coaching since 2016. Coaching is important for all riders, no matter the age or skill level. The USMCA connects riders with coaches, whether the rider is just starting out on their motorcycling journey, to a competitive amateur racer looking to reach their next milestone, or the professional athlete trying to clinch a title. Download the Motorcycle Coaching app and get connected to a USMCA certified coach today.
In the premier form of off-road motorcycle racing in the world, it's the beginning of a new era. 17 Supercross, 11 motocross, and those 3 playoff rounds.
Super Super Motocross World Championship Final. Tickets on sale now. Visit supermotocross.com.
30-second card is up. We've talked all about it. We've watched practice and qualifying. We've theorized. We've bench raced. Now it is time to go. Racer up. Gates down. Side by side we go. Jet Lord, Justin Cooper in front of the crowd. Winner from Chase Sexton. Did anyone else get up in the mix? They have been 1-2 in the last 7 motos of this championship. Here we go. Every race, every day, in every way. Print, social, digital, video, photo. Every race, every day. Every result, every story, every rider, everything. Moto every day with Racer X.
Yeah, fresh off the win here in Indiana. I got the win at Camp Coker a couple weeks ago, and man, it felt really awesome to get that done. Especially since how the year's been going for me so far. I've just been right there. I mean, everybody's going super fast this year, so you could throw a blanket over, you know, 3rd through 8th for most of these races so far this year. So I've been right there in the pack, about 6th place, all the way leading up till Coker. And yeah, I've always liked that track in the past, so I was looking forward to it. I was a little under the weather, had a little cold heading in, but yeah, I was able to get the job done. It was a perfect day for me. Besides the start, I guess. Started in the back of the pack. I think took off in front of 2 guys, but yeah, made my way through the pack about the 2nd or 3rd lap, and had my sights set on Craig there, and yeah, I was able to reel him in, and he made a little mistake, went off the track and squeezed by, and yeah, I was able to come in my first win for 2023, and my 3rd win in the books. So yeah, it was awesome to get that done and get a little momentum back going. And then the following weekend there, we had a national enduro in Arkansas, and first time going out to Arkansas for me, and super rocky conditions, but I had a blast out there and was able to pull off the win there too. So we got a little momentum going into today. So yeah, I'm gonna see if I can just keep it on 2 wheels out there today and get her done. Yeah, so far being with the Babbitt's Online Monster Energy Kawasaki team here, it's been great. These guys are treating me good, and they're here to win races, and you know, they got what it takes to win races, so everything's going good. And like I said earlier, I was kind of bummed with my results leading in, you know, into Coker there. So I was glad to get the bike up on the box there and the center step for these guys, because you know, I know they're working hard for me to put it up there, and I'm working hard too. So that felt awesome. It's been great. I've always looked up to Josh as a rider and a person. You know, he's always been one of those guys at the track that you know, very respectable. He's an awesome rider. I've watched him over the last few years, and I'd say I kind of tried to, you know, replicate his riding style more than any of these other guys on the pro line. He just has a, you know, effortless riding style. He doesn't look like he's really trying much, but yeah, I mean, it's been awesome working with him and the rest of the guys here. Yeah, it's been going good.
And today is Grant Baylor's birthday, so a big happy birthday to Grant Baylor. But Zach, we have some action going on the track. Let's see what's going on.
Yeah, no, so we got word. There it is. It looks like the Magna 1 Motorsports Husqvarna, Jordan Ashburn, your reigning champ, has taken over the lead here. Look at him. He's going so fast the camera can't even keep up. Disappears. There it was. Well, that was him. The number 1 was out front. There is the 514. So Stu Baylor still in the 2nd place spot, not far behind Ricky Russell. The AmPro Yamaha still right there as well. And we even saw on timing and scoring, Jordan had to make up some serious time to catch up to the back of Stu. May have been one of the Red Bull FMF KTMs there. I'm not quite sure. There is one of them. I think that was Ben Kelly. Yeah, Johnny behind me here. We got the eagle eye in the studio now, so we should know every single rider ever from now on, right? But no, Johnny helping us out back here. But that was Ben Kelly, and then let's see who's coming up next. But how about that, Jackson? So Jordan Ashburn taking it. There's Craig DeLong. Still running no goggles at the moment, but the Rockstar Husky looking strong. Was that Draper behind? Okay, now we see Stu Baylor in the pits. There goes Ricky Russell, so Ricky did not pit.
I would love to know if Jordan pitted this time around or not.
Looking at the team, trying to wash off the bike there. Interesting as far as the pit strategy goes, didn't seem like a real panicked sense of urgency. He took his time, made sure he got the goggles on properly, and got back off to business. So Stu Baylor looking calm, cool, and collected at the moment, and Ben Kelly jumping in right behind him there.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Zach.
No, absolutely.
There is your leader on the screen, Jordan Ashburn. And Zach, this is what we've been expecting out of last year's champion, but he seems to be getting stronger and stronger every weekend. Now he is in the lead at the Hoosier.
And Ricky Russell not far behind at all. I'm telling you what, we said it, we saw the rain was coming, and we said it was going to be Josh Strang and Jordan Ashburn doing the rain dance. We knew they liked the wet conditions, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but Ricky Russell's not letting him run away with it. We welcome the other local legend we like to talk about, Mikey Wayne's in the building. Mikey, dude, what a race we got going on.
Yeah, it's been incredible. I said it at the start of the show or start of the race. You know, a lot of times we'll say the cliche, it's been a historical, monumental season. It's the truth this year. 5 races, 5 different winners. You know, we got a lot of racing left. Abbreviated race today, but nonetheless, hey, we got another new guy out in front, Jordan Ashburn, who's had a taste of the podium, has not had a taste of that wins column yet. So maybe he adds his name to the list today. And I heard you saying Jordan Ashburn, Josh Strang, they like the mud. You're absolutely right. Jordan Ashburn loves the mud.
Yeah, and it's shaping up nicely. Crazy to think that 6 riders are still possible out here, but the number 1, it's kind of crazy to think that he hasn't gotten that win yet. We know it hasn't been quite the season he's looked for, but the momentum he seemed to have gotten after that first podium, Ashburn really on a roll right now at mid-season too.
Yeah, and looking good right here, looking at the FMF PowerPoint through mile marker number 3. We were watching that battle there begin to unfold between Baylor and Ashburn out front.
Looks like Wachowski.
Oh, Mike Wachowski
on the Phoenix Honda. Yep, and he, I believe, should still be out front for that XC2 class.
So how about that? Couple of XC2 guys up there in the top 5 on the overall.
Second, I'm sorry. So Draper is in front there. Yeah, I was about to say, because Draper was right in the thick of that XC1 group.
Real impressive ride by Draper. Man, this would be such a huge confidence boost for him. You know, no stranger to hole shots, podiums. Those wins just seem to be a little elusive for Liam Draper. Maybe put the AmPro Yamaha center of the box today.
Absolutely. I believe that was the 99 of Cody Barnes right there. And looking, there is Rui Barbosa. So it almost looks like the Phoenix Honda boys had flipped from the last time that we saw them. Rui having a strong ride there as well. But yeah, Draper really a good drive as well. Hopefully be able to keep it up through the rest of this race because he, like you said, he's had that speed. Yeah. It's just been getting it all the way to the checkered flag, getting all those pieces put together.
Yeah, so also interesting, you know, they're up there after 3 laps still. You know, a lot of times we'll see the XC2 guys, first couple of laps, they're up there and they begin to fade. Well, here we are 3 laps into it. We're an hour into it. So let's see what they do here as we enter that second hour. Are they able to hang with these guys, keep that race pace, keep in a top 5 OA? We'll have to wait and see.
Well, and Jackson and I, we've been calling the racing all day, and it seems that seems to be the theme.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We've seen it in the Super Mini class. The junior took her the overall win there over the Super Mini senior class. They were all rolling. But, I mean, today it just kind of seems that the odds are in that favor.
And same thing in the AM rate. Was it Jack Joy?
Yes.
Ended up with an overall?
John Joy, I believe.
John?
Joy for sure.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's impressive.
An Indiana boy, I do believe. And fellas, I'm going to head down to the pit, see if I can see if Jordan Ashburn pitted yet. Head down to the finish here soon.
There you go. Jackson Burrell heading out and about.
Now taking a look, trying to see here. So we've got Draper, Wachowski, Welcoming Johnny G into the studio, the Eagle Eye himself. Johnny, what are you seeing out there?
So on that last shot, it was Jordan Ashburn out front. It was actually Ricky Russell in second, Johnny Gerard in third, and directly behind Johnny was Stu Baylor. So Stu Baylor had dropped all the way back to fourth. There were some other riders in the mix there. Liam Draper was in the mix, Mike Wachowski in the mix, Ben Kelly not too far back. So what you're seeing on screen, all those guys are still up there in the mix, but the order has changed dramatically. Now, Stu Baylor all the way back to fourth, Ricky Russell second, Johnny Gerard third as they exited that field section.
And to your point, I know I saw Russell go by Baylor when he pitted. Yep. Not sure whether Gerard did the same thing, but we can expect to probably see the Yamaha pitting the next time around, I would assume.
Absolutely. You know, we haven't had an update there on the pits. I wasn't in here, so I didn't see if anybody pitted there at the completion of lap number 2. But lap number 3, the only rider we saw on screen that pitted was Stu Baylor there. I guess it would be, completion of lap number 3. Looking at the times, it seemed possible that we've got a AmPro Yamaha rider in here looking maybe like it could be the 441 of Michael DeLosa possibly. Or, nope, the 220
machine.
Yeah, that's one of their A-class riders. But you can see that machine steaming, radiators packing up, and mud definitely a factor here, not only for vision, but wear and tear on the machines. And now this is where it's really going down out here in the woods. Here is your leader, Jordan Ashburn. You can see how tough the course is, standing up even your leader, and now right on his rear wheel, Ricky Russell gets off balance and up the side of the trail there, and looking like third place, Johnny Gerard. Here he comes up. So your top 3 all in the same shot there, nearly wheel to wheel with just one lapped rider in between.
Guys, I'm telling you what, the Tiger Run winner has got the eye of the Tiger right now, because he has been pushing. Whoever was out front, he was all over the back of him there. So Ricky Russell really, the AmPro Yamaha, I mean, you look at him in general.
Now look at this, Ben Kelly now up to the 4th place position, also around Stu Baylor. Stu Baylor dropping back. Now here's your XC2 leader, Liam Draper, and Mike Wachowski hot on his heels. So Draper still in that point position with Mike Wachowski right behind him there, and we have lost Stu Baylor. Stu Baylor was in ahead of those guys in our previous camera shot in the field. At least it appeared to me. Maybe he was just behind them, but now he has lost some time. So your early race leader dropping back outside the top 5.
Yeah, it was kind of curious. Looks like we're...
Oh, there he is. That was Stu right there. So Stu actually made the pass on Johnny. Look, well, thought it was a lapper. My bad there, Stu. So still up there solidly in a 3rd place position. That made more sense, but I thought maybe he went down. So that was Stu ahead of Johnny. So Johnny in 4th, Stu in 3rd. So from our last camera shot, instead of moving backwards, Stu's actually moved forward up into 3rd and putting pressure on the leaders there. So not only is it a 3-rider battle for the lead, it's a 4-rider battle for the lead.
Now, Johnny, something I've been eager to ask you when you got in the truck here. We're not seeing it here at mile 5, but those wide open sections. Talk about when you have a course where you're able to gauge your competition and see the people either in front of you or behind you, and how useful that is throughout a race.
Absolutely. You know what's better than a pit board? Your eyes. When you can look up and you can see that guy, you know, seconds are such an abstract thing in racing. You know, it always cracks me up when you see someone put on the pit board, you know, -7. Like, yeah, I know. I can see him. I mean, I appreciate the heads up. I know you're trying to do your job as a pit crew, mechanic, you know, team member. But at the same time, I mean, when you can see a rider, and the biggest thing is when you see a rider in multiple points on the track, and you know, are you making progress or are you losing progress? Again, pit board is the next best thing, but your own eyes are the best thing you can possibly have for that. And these big Ironman fields are famous for that. I mean, I can tell you from years of experience of racing here, as we see Josh Strang now coming through on screen, it gets to be a little bit like a, what does Mikey Waynes call it? A checkup from the neck up.
Checkup from the neck up.
You know, it looks like a bunch of bobbleheads out there, you know, halfway through the race when you're trying to gauge when to put in your push, you know, whether it be for the win or for a top 5 or whatever your goal is that day. You know, you're looking around to see, you know, what is realistic as far as making up time, and also looking back, which they say you should never do. And hey, how, you know, if I'm not feeling it today, how much can I settle in and at least maintain the position I'm in? So yeah, a bunch of bobbleheads out there in the XC1 class typically in the fields, and if you're an amateur rider watching that, do as we say, not as we do.
It's so funny you say that, because we do it in Moto 2 especially. You race the track in front of you, don't worry about what's happening behind you, but you'll see it at Supercross level, GNCC, XC1 level, that everybody's guilty of it, but you know, sometimes it gets the best of you. But at the same time, to that point, Johnny, sometimes it gives you, that's almost as good as rehydrating.
Yeah.
When you see that competition, okay, I'm right there, I'm on his ass, or on his Seals.
I'm big on, is that Angus Riordan?
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure that's Riordan going down right there.
And that shows you the complexity and difficulty of these sections. I mean, it looks easy enough on camera, and you think, hey, man, I could take my bike out there and ride right through there. Well, you can't, because that is a former this season XC2 class winner struggling. You could tell by his body language when he was picking that machine up. That's probably not the first time he's picked that thing up, likely within the last couple miles. He looks like he's struggling, and that's the thing, man. Once you kind of get those gloves muddy, you know, your heart rate is spiked from just picking up the bike so much. You get frustrated. You start to pick bad lines, make bad choices, and as quickly as the ball can get rolling and in a good way, it can snowball in a bad way just as quickly.
Yeah, we've seen chaos here at mile 5 already. One of the lap riders falling right in front of Mike Witkowski, and we were talking about the point of these leaders having to make split-second decisions when these guys go down. Obviously, the course is difficult, but some riders struggling with it more than others, and the the leaders having to just kind of on a whim find brand new lines out there.
Well, and let me tell you something, Zach, for perspective. I mean, this is kind of one of the most inauspicious parts of the racetrack. I mean,
it's a good word.
There's one of the lamest parts of the racetrack.
No, you had it right the first time.
It's really very. It's not technical in and of itself. It's just the fact that the rain came and made this Indiana clay so slick. I mean, I raced the course yesterday. What you can't see from this angle, you guys can't see me pointing at the screen, but just to the left of the 5 mile marker and up a few inches, you can see the top of a shiny root kind of in the shadow of that tree that's laid down. That is a root. It is exposed. So if you get over towards that side, it would be easy to catch your front tire, kind of get pushed over, which I think is what did in fact happen to Angus Riordan. But other than that, I mean, it's a pretty easy section of racetrack. So the fact that we're seeing so many guys struggling and dog paddling up there, imagine the difficult parts, because this place has a lot of ravines, a lot of rock sections, a lot of quick ups, and no runs at them, kind of a thing that really take momentum. And when it's slick like this, it's hard to keep your momentum. So what I'm getting at is this camera shot is showing the difficulty of one of the easiest sections of the racetrack.
Well, and to your point there, it's also been dry here in the relative recent weeks from what we've been told. All of that stuff got packed down yesterday with that ATV racing. Then the rains came. Another rider going down behind the tree there, but it makes it extremely slick and gooey on top, but it's a hard packed base on the bottom. So even if you're not sliding in the mud, you're sliding on that hard base.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's exactly the issue, Zach. As you pointed out, the mud on top is thickening up and in a way creating more grip, but the ground underneath it's so hard packed, the knobs on your tire just have a hard time biting in to grab onto anything. Throttle control, if you watched Supercross last night, they talked about Ken Roxon and how he's able to just have this methodic application of the throttle that allows him to grab traction where others can't find it. Here's the struggles, man. We're up off the track on a log, but man, that's tough. I mean, it looks like JoJo Cunningham coming by there, and look at, he's trying to get that machine off there, and that just saps so much of your energy. Rider number 431, we'd have to look all the way down through our results to see who that. Oh, and now the bike's down.
The bike goes down.
I feel like at this point we got to give him a little love.
We got to give him a shout out or something. Absolutely.
See.
Let me ask you this, Johnny. Second real mutter of the season. The first of which being down in Georgia, but a different scenario. It was just constant rain, never let up. We were out at a mud bog essentially. Do you prefer that condition where, hey, okay, it's rain, it's wet, I'm cold, but it's cleaning the bike off constantly, I know what I'm getting? Or this, where your bike is adding 20, 50 pounds every lap you make?
But maybe a little more predictability in traction?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so each one has its challenges, truthfully. In terms of wear and tear on the machine and the rider, a race like Georgia where it just rains the entirety of the event is incredibly difficult, because you're just blowing through goggles, you're blowing through, your radiator's constantly packed up. Whereas when you get to something like this, the bike just gets so heavy and hard to ride, and it's unpredictability of, at least when it's raining, it's bad.
There you go. Love that. That answered it. Well, hey, talking about more unpredictability, we had the Stasic race last night. It's a lawless area. It's not lawless. There's a lot of organization that goes into it. What I'm saying is it's tons of fun. It's uncapped fun for the little rippers out there as they are able to throw their leg over a Stasic machine. I actually got to hang out at this one for a little bit. Ricky Towery comes. I mean, it is a big to-do, and I know if you've never been to a GNCC and you've never seen the Stasic race, you are thinking these guys are factory pro riders, because look at them jockeying for position. They're banging bars, but no, it's just for fun. Go out there, and the future of GNCC has it out. For 3 hours. No, all right. No, they don't race for 3 hours either. But it is fun. I think it's as much fun for the parents as anybody. And like I said, a shout out to the crew. DJ George, Griff Cotter, Ricky Towery. Those guys really don't get that many breaks throughout the day. And they go out there and they do the Stasic race with a smile on their face.
And it means so much to the kids. We were able to watch this one as well. Jackson and I were walking through the parking lot. Those guys don't get to see the little kids walking through the parking lot.
Oh, carnage!
Oh, shoot!
See right there, I told you. Jockeying for position.
Now, that might have been a malicious takeout move.
It was.
It's ruthless.
Stuck him in the corner.
Hey, Dad said, you want to make a pass, aim for the front wheel.
That's it. Go get him, miniature Bam Bam.
You can see the glow on these kids' face. Look at that. Look at that level of excitement. I mean, he is just, there is a future GNCC champion right there.
Yes. I can hear the interview from here. It was, tell me about your race. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, who do you want to thank? Jesus, Mom and Dad.
Yeah. Hey, while we're waiting on our leaders, I want to give a quick shout out to Noah McGraw, number 431 from Woodruff, South Carolina, running second in our 150B bike class, only 16 seconds off the leader, Hayden Harris. Noah, you were out there. If you come back and watch this, you were out there struggling on that log. You were lifting that bike up, but hey, man, it's all going to be worth it if you can put that Husky machine on the podium today in that 150B class. Who knows? 16 seconds off the lead, maybe more like a minute and 16 seconds after that struggle.
Yes.
But who knows? Hayden Harris could be the next one to have struggles like that on this very, very demanding Hoosier course here today.
Been a wild one, Johnny, man. Been a crazy season. Seeing things unfold, watching mile marker number 9. Now we got the abbreviated race here today. Will not be, not expecting to run, I think it was
2 hours, 30 minutes.
Minimum, is what they said. So going to be interesting. Come again on that, Adam Gordon. Getting some radio chatter. Sounds like maybe Johnny Gerard has made some moves, perhaps into the top 3.
We got a pit board. It is still Jordan Ashburn leading the way. So he's got a little bit of a gap now. Last time we saw they were basically wheel to wheel here at 9 mile marker. Jordan likes the mud, and he is showing it today out front with a little bit of a gap on his nearest competitor, which is the 969 of Johnny Gerard. They're up into P2, made a couple passes in the last couple miles since we saw him last, and looking really good out there. There is Ricky Russell in 3rd. There is Stu Baylor in 4th. Those guys basically wheel to wheel.
That's going to be a fun one. Hey, we've been talking about how great this is. There's Ben Kelly right there as well.
So there's your top 5 all within just a few seconds. This one's going to be a barn burner, Zach.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. Back to
Liam Draper.
Wow, look at that.
Hold on, guys. That wasn't a minute. We may very likely have a new overall leader. Well, we're going to know here real soon because they're headed to the finish line.
It's going to be very
If he's
close.
not leading, it's going to be real close.
Yeah, so Draper may be our new race leader on adjusted time. He's in the fight, though, and Johnny, like
it's never happened.
Saying, yeah, right.
It's never happened on bike day. We've never had it.
Saying, though, in these conditions, these guys, he can see them. He can see the XC1. He knows there that you said, I don't know, that's close. We're getting reports 26 seconds back.
26 seconds is the gap
from the leader.
No, that would. Yes.
Yeah, he came through before the long. It was.
Sorry, folks. We're speaking with the voice you cannot hear. Our producer doing some math. He's telling us 26 seconds when they looked at it. He's going to be checking into the finish line here in probably about a minute or less. We're going to get the official scoring, folks. We're going to call it right now. Liam Draper, if he maintains that pace to the finish line, is going to be your overall leader here. And to have this late into a race, we're an hour and 20 minutes in of what we're predicting to be a roughly 2.5-hour race. We've seen it before.
Yeah.
We've never seen an XC2 rider on bike day be able to carry it to the finish. It's happened on the ATVs 3 times. Walker Fowler did it twice. Brian Wolf did it once. So it's been done on Saturdays. It's never been done on Sunday to have an XC2 rider. They've been on the podium.
I was going to say, they've been on the podium.
Never won an overall. Right now, hour and 20 minutes into this, we're going to get an update here from our live timing and scoring and see.
Not even at Snowshoe, we've not had this.
We've never had it happen. The closest that it ever came, still 3 laps complete, we're showing here. So we're waiting, we're watching. Thad Duvall came incredibly close. David Knight was within seconds coming to the finish. Thad had it, stuck it in a mud hole. He told the story on the Inside Line podcast, which has now gone defunct because Caleb is not committed to podcasts anymore.
But, you guys, now you sound like me and
it was a great story. Thad talked about it, and to this day, it still haunts him. that he could have been the only rider ever to do it to this point, and that was clear back in 2007. So here we are 16 years later, it still has not happened.
And so question for you, Johnny, here, with these conditions, obviously the XC2 riders, they're riding 250s compared to 450s. What do you think it is about this that is making Liam Draper just go so fast? Like, what do you think it's just his riding style, or do you think there's actually a benefit to possibly riding the 250 in this?
I mean, you could argue it's, oh, look at this. There's Johnny Girard. And there, look at this, Mike Witkowski is right on Liam's rear wheel. So he was a little ways back in the last shot, but he is now right there. So we're going to find out as they check in here. We should see our leader checked in with 4 laps complete already. Update, refresh. Okay, here it is, checked in. Jordan Ashburn, Johnny Girard, Ricky Russell, Stu Baylor, all checked in as Liam Draper checks in. Refresh. Liam Draper is your overall leader, folks.
Smokes. And Mike Witkowski
second
is
overall.
second.
Mike Witkowski 1.4 seconds behind. If you look at the elapsed time, you see that those guys are currently leading 120.49, 120.50. They have an 11-second lead on Jordan Ashburn after time correction right now. So there it is, folks. The tail of the tape, the official scoring. Your leader, Liam Draper, second place overall. Mike Witkowski, both from that XC2. To answer your question, Zach, surely, you know, the bike, the weight could be considered an advantage, but I think right now it's just this track is so complex and so slick. He's just feeding off these guys in front of him, and he could physically see these guys. Look at this. Chaos in the pits. Liam Draper, Ricky Russell is in the pits. They're waiting on Liam Draper to come in. The best thing they can do is not tell Liam Draper he is leading the overall. Ricky Russell is in and out of the pits, and here comes Liam Draper into the pits. You can see him picking up the can. We're going to follow Ricky here with the drone as he leaves the pits, and there is Liam Draper in the pits.
Johnny, I got goosebumps looking at Draper right now.
This is a guy all the way from New Zealand, came here, has just been hunting XC2 wins. He wants them. He wants to be a championship contender. He's putting in the work, and it just seems like these little struggles, you can just see the disappointment in his face. Right now, he is the baddest man on the track, leading the overall. But right now, the guy on the hammer is that guy right there, Stu Baylor. He's made the pass on Jordan Ashburn in the pits and is up to, let's see, he was in 6th, so that was 4th physically. He's up to at least 3rd physically in that XC1 class. Oh, he's around Johnny Girard.
He was in front of Jordan Ashburn. So Stu Baylor was just in front of Jordan Ashburn.
Yes.
Right there coming through that section.
All those guys pitted. Did Ben, well, Ben was a little too far back. But so it looks like, Stu Baylor may have retaken the lead there. Yep, there's Ben Kelly. So he has actually, those are your top 4 in XC1. Here comes, so Stu pitted the lap before, which allowed him to re-grab the lead. There is Stu Baylor leading the way. Jordan Ashburn behind in 2nd, so that is your top 2 physically as they run, but those guys are currently 3rd and 4th place overall. There is Johnny Girard, 3rd in XC1 and 5th place overall, and as we pan back, you're going to see your overall leaders coming, and it will be the 198 of Liam Draper, and there he is. Nope, that was Ricky Russell, another Yamaha. So that is, and there's Ben Kelly. So that is your top 6 in XC1 that are now through. Liam Draper, Mike
Witkowski right there.
Johnny, as you look at this, we're watching it unfold. Liam Draper, Mike Witkowski, 1st and 2nd on adjusted time. Name 2 guys in the XC2 that need as big a morale boost as what this would be for both Witkowski and Draper.
Oh, absolutely, and especially for Mike Witkowski. I mean, a home state race, new team. You know, he's really been wanting to put a good race together. Seeing Rui Barbosa win 2 races, seeing Cody Barnes on the podium. You know, Mike Witkowski, even on social media, there's Craig DeLong working his way through, winner of our last mud race in Georgia. You know, if you're Mike Witkowski, you know, he may live in South Carolina now, but he's an Indiana boy. What better place to do it than your home state, in front of your fans, in front of the home crowd?
Without a doubt, as once again we go back to that Yamaha live drone, watching the riders dip in and out. And Liam Draper, the man. How about that, though? I mean, you don't just win XC2. You're going to make history out here.
History.
And to your point, Johnny, you mentioned this earlier.
Mikey, did you catch it? Did you see the Jordan Ashburn look back? As soon as they hit the field, he looked back to see. We were talking about it. Here, watch the bobbleheads. We got a great drone shot here. Jordan Ashburn chasing Stu Baylor, who is your physical leader. and currently third place in the corrected time overall as they run. Now, here's the thing. The best thing you can do if you're the AmPro team and also the Phoenix Honda team, just let those guys race it out, in my opinion. That said, if you're Stu Baylor's crew in that Teely Energy Racing KTM pits, you got to let them know, because they might come across at the end of the race thinking they've won and lose an overall by 3-4 seconds and think to themselves, man, I could have pushed. Now, the strategy may change for Liam or Mike, if they're able to break away, get a small gap over their competitor in XC2, and it's the last lap and they're within seconds one way or the other, sure, you let them know. But right now, an hour, give or take, of racing left, just let them race it out. But, you know, the XC1 guys need to get going.
And as far as, just to clarify with you, Johnny, I believe you said this earlier in the year, the XC1 points are decided on overall time, correct?
The championship points are decided on overall finishes. So our series champion and the numbers that you run on your machine are decided by your overall points, meaning XC2 is factored in, A-class is factored in, and you only score points if you're in the top 20 overall. Look at this, looking like, is that Ricky Russell getting pressure from Ben Kelly? It is. Ricky Russell there physically third. Johnny should have been in front of them there. I didn't see Johnny, but I do believe he did come through. And now it looked like Liam Draper and Mike Witkowski had caught up physically to, that was them. They had physically caught up to Ricky Russell and what appeared to be Ben Kelly there.
So the train just keeps coming.
That's it. As I say,
what are these guys eating?
Morel mushrooms. Lori Shaver's morel mushrooms.
Oh, don't tell her that. She'll be out in the woods.
I guarantee you, she's like, yep, I'm on my way.
Yeah, those guys are on a mission right now. There is Craig DeLong still running solidly inside the top 10. And as they ran was 8th place, which would have put him 6th place in that XC1 class. 8th overall, 6th in the XC1. So if we look and break it down, the classes individually, XC1 as they run, Mikey, after 4 laps complete.
Ashburn, Gerard, Russell, and then you got Baylor and Kelly running out your top 5. We know this is going back and forth.
This was as they checked in.
This was as they checked in, correct.
Now,
Craig DeLong, Strang, and Baylor.
Yeah, and now as they've moved along, and we go to the XC2 250 Pro class, Liam Draper leading the way, Mike Witkowski second, Cody Barnes up into that third spot, Ryder Lafferty in third. But look at that. There we see Stu on screen, Jordan Ashburn second. Look at the gap in XC2, guys. There is Johnny Gerard still physically in that third place spot. 1 minute and 13 seconds back to Cody Barnes in third. He has lost the draft of those two up front. Now, Zach, let's watch this shot, because this is where we're going to see just how much time Liam Draper and Mike Witkowski have made up on Ben Kelly and Ricky Russell.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one to watch here, because they're able to make their way around as we get where this will be an 8-lap race, is what we're being told. Here we go. There's
Ben Kelly's made his way around Ricky
and
Russell. There's Ricky. There's Liam.
Look at that, all over.
He's on his teammate, putting pressure. Looking like Ricky let him have it there. And Ricky gets hung up and holds up Mike Witkowski just a little bit. Oh, that's a struggle right there. Ricky.
Mile 5 is just all day long. It's just been brutal.
Ricky in the position battling for the lead just a lap ago. Now, really struggling there at the 5-mile marker. Still not far out of this thing, but now falling back into the clutches or near the clutches of Craig DeLong here as we get a little deeper into this. And like you said, that 8-lap race, this is going to push well past that 2.5-hour mark. Probably going to be 2:45-ish, maybe, give or take. I mean, we're speculating, but man, good racing action, boys.
Been a good one. Adam, are we going to a break? Okay, that's cool. That's cool. All right. Hey, we got a barn burner. As Johnny Gallagher said, our historic season here in GNCC continues here at round 6. Stick around, more after this.
The United States Motorcycle Coaching Association has been setting a standard for motorcycle coaching since 2016. Coaching is important for all riders, no matter the age or skill level. The USMCA connects riders with coaches, whether the rider's just starting out on their motorcycling journey, to a competitive amateur racer looking to reach their next milestone, or the professional athlete trying to clinch a title. Download the Motorcycle Coaching app and get connected to a USMCA certified coach today.
How would you like to go to a school where we take into consideration how students learn best? Well, we do that because we find if we can build the curriculum around the things you are interested in, you're going to do a better job. The mission at On Track School is that educational success is possible while chasing your dreams. Not only will our staff help students to achieve success, they will cheer you on to the finish line. We encourage you to check out On Track School at ontrackschool.com, where we can help you chase your dreams and still get a quality education.
ontrackschool.com. Check it out.
In the premier form of off-road motorcycle racing in the world, it's the beginning of a new era. 17 Supercross, 11 motocross, and those 3 playoff rounds.
Super Motocross World Championship Finals. Tickets on sale now. Visit supermotocross.com.
30-second card is up. We've talked all about it. We've watched practice and qualifying. We've theorized. We've bench raced. Now it is time to go. Race her up. James down. Side by side we go. Jet Lord, Justin Cooper in front of the crowd. Winner from Chase Sexton. Did anyone else get up in the mix? They have been 1-2 in the last 7 motos of this championship. Here we go. Every race, every day, in every way. Print, social, digital, video, photo. Every race, every day. Every result, every story, every rider, everything. Moto every day with Racer X.
Yeah, yesterday looked perfect, and then man, today was this morning I woke up in the middle of the night, massive explosion. I thought someone's camper blew up back there, so then I realized it was just thunder and lightning and a little bit of hail, so some rain here, but honestly it doesn't look terrible. I think I said that at Georgia and it was terrible, but I really think here today should be good. The morning race just took off, so honestly I think they'll clear a bit of the track. It might be pretty good. I would take that for sure. It's like I think I've said already this year, this class this year is stacked full of guys. Everyone can win, so there's still a couple of guys that haven't won yet, and the guys that have won are definitely quick enough to win again. So I'll just go out there, have fun and do my own thing, race my own race, and we'll see where we go. I'll just do the best I can, and if that's a podium, if it's a win, then great. I'll be pumped for a win. That'd be cool. Yeah, it hasn't been too bad. It's just honestly the big break last year was harder to come back from than I expected. Just getting back into race shape. These GNCCs are nothing like anything else. You can go to a local hair scramble. It's still not even. You can't even compare it to a GNCC. So really, I'm just 6 races into getting back into shape, so it's a longer process than I wanted it to be, and my results have got better from the start, from the round 1 through to 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, and just looking to make progress and keep improving, and like I said, doing the best I can, have fun, do well for the brand, Kawasaki and Babbitt's. It's that's all they can ask for, and that's all I can do, Yeah, Ironman's a fun one. The original Ironman is always fun to come to. I think a lot of people, spectators and riders, enjoy coming to Ironman, so to come here twice is good, but you can just tell the track is a little more wore out than it normally has been in the past. So it's still fun coming here. Hopefully we don't damage it too much for later in the year, because like I said, the Ironman race at the end of the year is usually really enjoyable and a fun one. And but yeah, coming here to the Ironman track, it's the furthest drive for us, but it's probably one of the most enjoyable tracks. So the drive's not so bad when you get to ride a track like this.
Great to hear there from Strang. We were talking about with the weather, it was going to be him and Ashburn, and Strang having a good run out here as we get a look at the Monster Mile and that Monster Energy Babbitt's Online Kawasaki making his way around there, still inside the top 10 last time we saw. And oh no,
Grant Baylor in the pits, not gonna back up that win today. It does not. We can't see the number plates on that bike, but being that they zoomed in, we're pretty certain that that is who that is laid down there. So unfortunate turn of events there for Grant Baylor, not able to back up that win. And had quite a streak going with the National Enduro as well. So
and his birthday today.
And his birthday, yeah, not a great birthday present, but he'll rebound. He'll be back.
So yeah, sounds like he was outside of the top 100 is what we're hearing.
Likely some type of
mechanical
a setback, or you know, he may have just gotten stuck, buried it. At that
also
point.
True. And now he's exhausted.
Yeah. Man, that sucks. Waiting on the leaders here at mile 9. They should be coming in, and we'll see. Seems like every time we see these guys, the running order changes up.
Yeah.
It's been an exciting one today for sure. The conditions have not left us lacking or wanting for action.
The weather and the race itself kind of synonymous with each other. It's like, just stick around, it's going to change. Don't get used to how it is right now. Give it 5 minutes, the race order is going to change.
The conditions lead them, lead that way.
Oh, yeah.
It's just so hard to get in a flow when the conditions are like this. And if you are the guy that can get in a flow, which ironically we were talking before the race, Ricky Russell, one of the best mud riders out there, normally can get in a flow. And obviously we just saw the struggles he was having, dropping back 3 positions in one camera shot, going down, letting his teammate by, had obviously just been passed by Ben Kelly. And then as he was letting his teammate by, goes down and ends up momentarily holding up Mike Kowski, losing another spot.
Well, and that's got to be tough too on the mental side. He's already physically exhausted. It's brutal out there, but they call it the quicksand. One thing goes wrong, then something else, and like you said, right there in that camera shot, multiple things going wrong there. So Ricky trying to regroup, because it seemed like he was going from offense, he was moving forward, putting pressure on, to almost immediately kind of dropping back, one thing after another happening for him. So we'll see whether or not the 2-1-2 is able to rebound, but his teammate right now, Liam Draper, feeling the flow, to say the least.
Yeah, that's a quick moving machine there, and that is your leader. It is Stu Baylor in the point position, has taken the lead from Jordan Ashburn. Jordan Ashburn there in second, and as we look back, when we last saw it was Johnny Gerard in third. Looks like that gap has opened up a little bit, so those two starting to pick up the pace. Johnny Gerard dropping back just a little bit here when they checked in last lap, and that is Johnny there.
And a strong ride. I was saying this earlier, guys. Jordan Ashburn, we were talking about how much he needed this, but how about Johnny Gerard, the FMF Red Bull KTM rider, having a solid season, but definitely not quite been up in the conversation like he's wanted.
No, yeah, he's had a lot of struggles so far this season, and here is Ben Kelly. So he has now shaken his XC2 pursuers. When we last saw them, they were just behind him. Maybe that little mix. Oh, was that? That wasn't Liam right behind him. I saw nope, there is Liam right there. So there's your XC2 leader. And still within touch there, and still Mike Witkowski there in second. So those guys just clicking off the laps. I will say, I believe that gap opened up a little bit to Stu Baylor. Will it be enough? Last lap, it was 11 seconds is what it was. 11 seconds was the gap or the lead that they had over your then leader, Jordan Ashburn. And now it is Stu Baylor in the point position. Does he know? Is he pushing the pace? Is he trying to open up that gap over those XC2 guys? We're going to find out here real soon.
And taking a look there on screen, you're looking at your FMF XC3 125 Pro-Am standings the last time through. DeVore taking over the lead from Lipscomb, and Toby Cleveland, who grabbed that hole shot, dropping just outside the top 5. Zach Walker there having a good run as well in the number 4 spot. But now on screen, that's Craig DeLong on the Rockstar Energy Husky.
And what that means there is Ricky Russell's woes continue, because we noted he picked up his bike just in front of Craig DeLong and was able to get going. But it appears, unless we missed him in our camera pan there, that Ricky has now dropped yet another spot, going from battling for lead, and there he is, Ricky Russell there. So yeah, that's we are getting word that 51 seconds is the gap from Stu Baylor back. That will be enough.
That will,
that will be enough. They don't start on exactly 1 minute increments. They do keep track of it, input that into the computer. Last lap, the gap was 33 seconds, and it added up to roughly an 11-second lead. Not at the exact same spot, so we need to kind of leave it a little vague, but 51 seconds, if they maintain each their pace to the finish line, it would be Stu Baylor leading the way in that overall, and we'll find out in just a moment, because here's your leaders on screen. Stu Baylor leading the way, Jordan Ashburn in second, guys.
And this is the mano a mano. If you can see him, you can catch him. And right now, so we're an hour and 41 minutes in. Are you expecting Jordan Ashburn to try to pull the trigger here right now, or I'm sure he's aware they've got a bit of a gap? I feel like they're kind of probably going to hold this for the next little bit as we get ready to see them go through scoring.
Go ahead, Johnny, but I'm thinking I want to be Jordan Ashburn right now in this situation at this point in the race anyways.
Wait, what happened?
Where is he?
You don't want to be Jordan Ashburn, because
okay.
Stu Baylor just came through, and Jordan Ashburn has not come through.
All right, well, the old scenario, we said it would
that
change
is Jordan
constantly.
Ashburn. This blur here in the left corner of our screen, that is Jordan Ashburn. He made it to the final corner, came to a stop. Is it a bike issue? Did he crash? Is he stuck? It
helps on the way.
The drone shot had it there a second ago. It looked, yeah, he was moving. I don't know if he got.
There he goes. He's getting going.
No,
So
no, somebody came around him.
There he is. No,
he's
stuck in the woods.
This is what we talked about, this soil starting to dry out. One of our WXC podium called it
Oh, no, his
suck mud.
bike is dead. He is not riding it. He is pushing
Is
the
the wheel
machine.
turning, Johnny?
So
The
there
rear
we see
wheel?
second place now. There is Ben Kelly. They're pushing this machine. Jordan Ashburn pushing his machine across the line, likely going to try to push it back to the pits. Jordan Ashburn's Magna 1 Husqvarna is dead in the water.
Is he allowed to push him through that finish? He has to do it under his own power. Don't touch it. Okay, good.
There you go.
Okay, there you go.
You note the rule there, folks.
Yes.
For those of you watching, there was a spectator who was pushing across the finish line there and helping Jordan Ashburn. You have to push the bike across the plane of the finish line under your own power. That's why you saw that our dropping the machine. What a heartbreak for Jordan Ashburn. If the Magna 1 Husqvarna pits can hear us, your rider is at the finish line and seeking assistance. Don't know if they'll be able to get that machine going, but you can see he is just absolutely exhausted, Mikey.
I don't know if Jackson's
yeah,
out
Jackson
and
just
about.
sprinted out of here. I think he's headed down there.
Heading down. Maybe we can get a word in once. Now, Jordan Ashburn, I say he's a class act. Johnny, I don't think I've ever seen Jordan Ashburn frustrated like this before.
Well, it's a combination of frustrated and exhausted.
For
mean, he pushed that machine through the final, several hundred feet to the finish line just to get credit for that lap. So, it is still within the realm of possibility. He could get that machine fixed and going, but, there's a lot of rules that regulate that. He would have to push. They would have to physically push the machine back to the pits. They can't tow him, or they could fix the machine trail side right there at the finish line, which isn't far from the pro pits.
Right.
But judging by, so the chain was on. Judging by what we saw there, something with that machine let go, whether it be the engine, an electrical issue, but the chain was on, all the wheels were on it, and they were pushing it, meaning something in the driving power of that machine is no more go-go.
Well, and it happened so quick. Like, they were going at a pretty high rate of speed.
He was battling for the lead.
It just stopped.
Yeah. So that is super unfortunate. A lot of things could have happened. On screen looks like Johnny Gerard and Ben Kelly, possibly. That is Ben there, and I believe that was Johnny just ahead of him.
As we look at the overall now, guys, Stu Baylor now your leader in this race. Liam Draper has checked in, 5 laps completed. Wachowski is in third. What's those gaps look like, Johnny Gallagher?
So the gap from your leader, which is Stu Baylor, back to Liam Draper in second place overall, is 27 seconds is the gap. So that's a big swing from 11 seconds out front the lap before to 27 seconds back. You have an elapsed time of 1:41.15 for Liam Draper, or for Stu Baylor. Liam Draper 1:41.43. Again, less than 1 second behind him, 1.1 seconds back. Mike Witkowski there in that third place overall, second in XC2, followed by Johnny Gerard. Johnny Gerard 37 seconds behind Stu Baylor when they checked in at scoring. Ben Kelly 19 seconds behind Johnny. So that is your podium in XC1 as they run.
Well, I can promise you, I don't know if you saw that camera shot, Ben Kelly is not 19 seconds behind anymore.
We did see on the moto track they were right together, but there was 19 seconds. But keep in mind, there could have been a pit. Oh, look at this. Ricky Russell in the pits looking like he wants some fresh goggles, and a torturous lap for Ricky, dropping from inside the top 3 to as they run. We check on Ricky.
Osborne in the pits too. Did you see that? The 116 was in there.
Yep.
8th overall for Ricky Russell has dropped back.
In the pits.
Yeah, Zach Osborne is in the pits looking like he is seeking a little more than normal pit stop help.
Has it begun? Are bikes going to start breaking now, Johnny, in this
okay, so
second hour?
it looks like we got a battle. Oh, that's Stu Baylor battling a lapper. I thought we had a battle on screen. We do. Stu Baylor battling the elements, battling the lappers, and battling the mentality that it takes to keep pushing out front all alone with a now 27-second gap on second place overall, which is a good buddy of his, Liam Draper.
Yeah, we hadn't talked about that yet. I mean, Stu almost playing spoiler for his buddy. He said, not so fast, Liam.
Yeah, I mean, at this point,
I need an overall.
He needs it. He needs the points. The round he had there 3 weeks ago, it's torturous what happened, last week with Stu, obviously.
Yes.
Not scoring any points, dropping him out of that points lead. Ben Kelly able to wrestle that leader's points away from him. Stu wants it back. He wants wins. And one thing that we haven't really dwelled on a whole lot, we talked about it in the pre-show, Mikey and Zach, I'm sure you guys mentioned it earlier on, 5 winners in 5 rounds. And the big question coming in today is, will we have a 6th winner or will we have somebody double up? As it runs right now, obviously if Liam Draper or Mike Witkowski are able to get it done, those would be first-time winners and a historic first winner at that. But Ben Kelly would be a repeat winner. Stu Baylor would be a repeat winner. Jordan Ashburn has kind of dropped out of the equation, obviously, with the bike issue. I had him pegged as a guy who could potentially be win number 6, or different win rider number 6 today. And then, obviously, Johnny Gerard could be a first-time winner. Only 37 seconds behind when we last saw, and it looks like on screen that is Ben Kelly. And has he gotten around the 969?
I'm telling you what. Oh, wow. We just got word here in the truck. The oil plug coming out of the Magna 1 Husqvarna.
Oof, man, that one stings. Yeah, so there we did see on screen second and third place in that XC1 class as they just went by. Ben Kelly was able to make the pass on Johnny Gerard, and there on screen right now is your leader, Liam Draper, and second place, Mike Witkowski, and also second and third place in the overall as they run right now on corrected time. So 4th and 5th physically on the racetrack, second and third overall for the XC2 boys, Liam Draper and Mike Witkowski. And guys, we've talked about it. Each of these guys in their own different way. This could be a big jump start to their season.
Yeah.
I get it, we're round 6, we're halfway through, but hey man, you got to get it rolling as soon as you can.
Yeah, you look down through the guys that run XC2, there's a lot of new guys, hungry guys, but Liam Draper's been there for a minute. Mike Witkowski, he's been there for a minute. There's been a question, hey, when are you going to step up to that XC1 level? And they've just not felt comfortable yet. So I think this is one of those things that we expected to see from these guys. Not saying overalls like this, but leading that
Stu Baylor
XC2
on screen,
class.
There is your leader, and we got a couple seconds until we should see our second place rider on screen. To your point, let's talk about that XC2 for a minute. Coming into the season, all the hype, all the championship talk. In my mind, Lyndon Snodgrass. Mike Witkowski was in the mix. A lot of riders were. A lot of people talking about Liam Draper in the mix. And honestly, so far this year, it's been the Ryder Lafferty, Angus Riordan, Rui Barbosa show. Like those are the guys who have been, kind of Rui obviously with back-to-back wins, taking a points lead. back-to-back wins to start the season for Ryder Lafferty. So it's just been kind of a shakeup. Here is your second-place rider, and still in his shadow. So there is Ben Kelly second. There is Johnny Gerard in third with a lapped rider in between. And we've seen this section of racetrack give these guys some struggles. Looking back just a little bit further, we should see the 198 of Liam Draper, and there he is. And in his shadow, it is still the Indiana boy, Mike Witkowski, there on that Phoenix Honda in second place in that XC2 class. Do you think these guys know yet? Has anybody told them?
And I don't know. There's two sides to that. Part of me is like, man, I hope so. And the other side's like, you're almost paranoid. Like, I don't want them to get too excited. Like, let's let them go out there and ride the race.
So at one point, you know, they were close enough that in the field, if they would have looked over it, if they have the situational awareness to know, you know, okay, who all is in XC1, who have I physically passed, who haven't I, or, you know, at times guys just get in the zone and they're so focused on, you know, whatever's in front of their front wheels. So it could go either way. They may have no clue, but they do know they're riding in amongst guys that are regular podium contenders physically. So they know that they've got Ben Kelly and Johnny Gerard beat on corrected time. They just don't know how many riders are still in front and how far in front those riders are.
And you know, back to your point, Johnny, maybe Liam Draper doesn't get the first place OA. Maybe Mike Witkowski doesn't get it. Still, to me, them getting a top 3 overall is just enormous. It's monumental. Maybe not the historic day of GNCC that we were talking about early in this race, but nonetheless, still a little history being made.
It shifted 30 seconds one way this lap. It doesn't mean it couldn't shift 30 seconds the other way the next. I mean, Stu is looking great out front, picking good lines, looking very aggressive, and I think at this point right now, Stu is not only going for the win today, he's not only going for max points, he's going for a statement. Like the way he's riding right now, he doesn't want to just win this thing, he wants to ride away with it.
Yep, Stu needs the win. He's coming off a rough round number 4. What better way than to set things back on course than come away from the Hoosier with a win? Will it happen? Will be a historic day in the XC2. We'll have to wait and see. More GNCC after this.
All-new Yamaha YZ450F. Narrower, more compact, and lighter. Built to do one thing: go faster. Flexible financing options offered directly through Yamaha are available. See your local Yamaha dealer today.
Born of family values and a homegrown work ethic, Cometic Gaskets seals your machine so you can focus on the finish line. Cometic Gaskets are the competitive standard for racers who demand the very best. Cometic Gaskets are constructed from superior materials designed to perform in the most demanding environment, whether it's championships on the line or a day in the dirt with friends. Professionals and enthusiasts depend on Cometic. Cometic Gaskets, sealing championships since 1989.
AMSOIL runs on freedom and has since 1972. We punish our products firsthand in our world-class laboratories and beyond, because some things can't be learned from a test tube. Run with us.
last season was my best season ever by far. I won a lot of races. I won the championship, and it was also my first year using ARMA. And one of the things I noticed was just my ability to string good days together. You know, like especially in the summertime in Florida where you're riding every day and the heat index is 108 degrees and you're doing 230s and going to the gym and bicycle and all that stuff. I think in the past I've been super inconsistent day to day. Yeah, I may have a good race here or a good day during the week there, but overall I think where I improved the most was my consistency in my recovery.
Tires, a division of Greenball Corp, has been in the tire business for over 44 years. We're passionate about developing quality tires that perform great and bring extraordinary value to our customers. Whether you're looking for a tire that can handle your off-road adventures, need a reliable tire to take you from job site to job site, or simply want a tire with a beefier look that won't break the bank, then check out Canati Tires.
Here we are taking a look at the Method Race Wheels Method Alley Mile 9, waiting on our leaders. Getting a glimpse there, looks like a Kawasaki team member there. A good spot to give the pit boards out, and communication crucial in a race like this with the conditions these guys are dealing with.
You know, Zach, I usually skip this part. I usually get right to the action, but right now we got no choice but to wait. We so badly want to know exactly what's going on. We want to see the action. We want to really get in there, and we know that it's been an absolute battle there in the XC2 class, and that has caused it to be a battle for the overall. But right now, as they run, or at least as they checked in with 5 laps complete, it was Liam Draper, Mike Wachowski, 1 and 2 in that XC2 class, but they had relinquished the overall lead back to the man out front, the 514 on that Teely Energy Racing Rocky Mountain ATV MC KTM. Stu Baylor with a 27-second lead when they checked in last lap in the overall.
Yeah, and you guys talked about it earlier. Stu could be the first of 2 out here for this 2023 season, and we knew it was going to be, the momentum was going to shift. Eventually, it kind of seems like you start to have 2, maybe 3 riders break away, but with this season so far, 5 different winners, and the question has been, who's had the bad race, if that makes sense? And right now, Stu having a bad race at round 5, responding to it in the best way possible, leading right now.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. When you get to the point where you're counting points, and obviously we know in this 12-round series, whoever has the most points at the end, overall points at the end of the season is your overall champion. All you can do is score 30 points. Stu can't go back and undo his woes of Camp Coker. As much as he would love to, as much as we would love to see it, you know, he sits, 13 plus another 2, so 15 points as they came into today, 15 points on the lead, but right now leading, and when Ben Kelly back in that 5th place overall spot when they checked in last lap, that would be a, 5th place would be 16, 30, so a 14-point swing, meaning that there would only be a 1-point gap and it would still be Ben Kelly with the points lead, but Stu Baylor, as they run, would be only 1 point behind him there in that second place position. So again, you want to talk about, making up lost ground. Stu's doing a great job of it today.
Well, absolutely. And between those two KTM riders is the Rocky Mountain Husky of Craig DeLong. There is Stu Baylor, though, still out front. And he's looking good. I mean, right now, it kind of seems like the pace that he's running, not over his head, not pushing it super, super hard. He seems comfortable out front and clearly not under any immediate pressure at the moment. But at the same time, we talk about the overall, you're racing the stopwatch, right? You're not just racing people out there on track. You're racing people on track.
Whoa, speaking of stopwatches, folks, that is not when they checked in. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No,
Zach.
you're good.
It was 37 seconds back to Johnny Gerard and another 19 back to 19 back to Ben Kelly when they checked in at the completion of lap number 5. Now as they're getting ready to complete lap number 6, that gap has come down. Ben Kelly and Johnny Gerard are making up ground, and our producer Adam Gordon telling us 24 seconds is what the gap is. So now keep in mind, here's your XC2 leader, Liam Draper, still on that 198 AmPro Yamaha, leading the way. And does he still have a shadow?
There it
he
is.
Does, the 282.
Wow.
So those guys have been glued together for like 3 laps. But so 24 seconds down. Keep in mind, that's not 24 from 37. That's 24 from 37 plus 19. So
I hope you guys are writing this down at home. I'm trying.
46 seconds down to 24. So there you go. 24 seconds is the gap as they run right now between first and second physically, which last lap was, as we said, 37 and 19. 50, wait, now I lost my mind, 56 seconds it would be what that would be. So 56 to 24, a big chunk of time made up by Ben Kelly. Now, it may change again at the finish line. There's some technical, look at that creek, how it's running. A few years ago, if you remember, we had to cross that, and then they went ahead and built a bridge, which made that a lot more feasible for days like today.
We thank you. Yeah, that made for some amazing camera shots a couple of years ago, but that was about it.
It made for a lot of
good photos.
It made for a lot of really expensive paperweights.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah.
Dirt bikes that no longer did dirt bike things.
That is it. That is it. Watching the Hoosier GNCC mile marker number 9, Stu Baylor in the driver's seat, controlling the pace of this one. Seems pretty cool, calm, and collected out there.
There is Craig DeLong on screen. Again, winner earlier this year in our mud race in Georgia, not looking like he's put himself in position to back that up with win number 2 today, but still a solid ride for Craig. Last we saw, he was running in the 7th place in the overall. Likely will have jumped up at least 1 spot with Jordan Ashburn dropping out of the mix there, so we should see these guys checking in. And on screen, here is the 5:14 of Stu Baylor. Last lap, this is where we saw the drama unfold. It was 2 riders coming through this. They disappeared into this little woods section, and Jordan Ashburn didn't emerge until much, much later, pushing his Magna 1 Motorsports Husqvarna in apparently what we've been told an issue of the drain plug falling out, losing the lifeblood of the engine, the oil, and that machine just came to a stop. Stu Baylor through, checked in with a lap time of 21 minutes, 14 seconds. So off the pace. Last lap he was running about a 20:40, so about 34 seconds off the pace of his previous lap.
And 2-lap card is out, so 2 to go in this and be an 8-lap race when it wraps up with the checkered flag. Here, just over that 2-hour mark. Go ahead, Johnny.
Here comes your 2nd and 3rd place riders. Ben Kelly checking in there in 2nd. Johnny Gerard in tow. So the Red Bull FMF KTM's running in formation, 2 and 3 in your overall. And as we refresh, 28 seconds is the gap back to Ben Kelly from Stu Baylor, and 1 second behind is Johnny Gerard.
You know, you guys looking on screen right now, you had that one rider who pulled off to the side, let both of the KTM riders by. He's out there riding the same course, and look at the exhaustion. It just kind of shows, you know, we get a not a factory perspective of just how difficult it is. There is Liam Draper coming through. Mike Wachowski stuck to him like glue. And those two, I got to think, short of a mistake, looks like Wachowski grabbing a little hydration there. That one's going to go all the way down the line with those two.
Yeah.
We refresh the screen, and it is still Liam Draper and Mike Wachowski in the 2nd and 3rd place overall positions. We've got to do some math, so we go to the elapsed time. 2 hours, 2 minutes, 30 seconds for Stu Baylor. 2 hours, 2 minutes, 48 seconds for Liam Draper. So 18 seconds is the gap. 17.9 to be exact, but round about 18 seconds is the gap. Here is Ben Kelly taking a little bottle of hydration there from his mom. Looks like she's she's doing double duty and also giving a bottle to Johnny Gerard there. That was a quick handoff for both those guys.
Good.
Mom was on it today, so she's taking care of the whole team. That's pretty cool when you see, obviously, even at the highest level, you know, these guys work together as a team, as family. You know, it really truly is a family sport.
Johnny, let me ask this. Let's throw the PC-ness out the window. We got 2 factory KTM guys. One sitting second right now, Johnny Gerard. One sitting third, Ben Kelly. Ben Kelly, more your favored rider as far as the points chase is concerned for the championship. If you're KTM right now, do you say, hey, Johnny Gerard, go out and get a second place, go out and try and fight for a win? Or do you say, hey, check up a bit, we want our points leader for the factory KTM team to get a little more points to keep Stu Baylor at bay?
I don't think this early in the season there would be any team tactics at all. I mean, these guys are racing, each of them not only just fighting. Whoa, that wasn't 28 seconds.
Yeah, that's cut down.
Stu Baylor must have pitted. We didn't see it on camera, but
did
he
have
has
a different
to,
pit strategy.
He does have to pit again. There's no
you're right,
because he pitted so early. So his pit has now brought Ben Kelly nearly to the rear wheel. We'll see what that gap is when we get him on our next camera shot. But yeah, that gap has come way down.
And that's dangerous right there because Ben Kelly's within eyesight.
Yeah. And so there is Stu. So we're going to see here. So Stu comes by here. We're told Stu did pit. And there is Ben Kelly. We have lost Johnny Gerard? Or is Johnny, he might be right behind that lapper. We just missed him. There he is. Johnny's still there. So there's your top 3 through. In it looked like it was about 11 seconds to me as I was watching on camera there. So rough numbers. I mean, now we can see him. To your point, and to finish that thought,
now it's flip-flop.
Well, it's not even just flip-flopped. Well, no, they're still in the same order.
Oh, they are. Yeah,
you're
right. You're right.
The issue now is all 3 of these guys are battling for a win.
Yes.
You're not going to convince, nor would it be in the benefit of the team at all to try and convince Johnny not to go for a win. I mean, he's a rider they were fully expecting to be in this championship hunt, and they need him to get those wins and get that confidence. I would say if there's no team orders, but if there are, hey, don't be an idiot. Don't take each other out.
Bingo.
Like, you know, but none of these guys, they're not, you know, even Ben and Stu, who the internet loves to hype up that they hate each other.
Yes.
I mean, they ride each other clean every race, week in and week out. Of course, they each want the same line, but the guy know who's going to check up. If you got the edge, you check up. But these guys are out there racing for a win right now.
That's another part of it. I was getting ahead of that because, you know, you got Johnny Gerard out there, you got Ben Kelly out there, you got a points championship on the line. You know it's going to be a lot of talk in that.
Well, that's just because people sitting at home have nothing better to do. We love having them watch us on Racer TV. But here's a thought. Come on out to the races. Get in on the action. Get out there in the morning.
Whatever the role is.
See it firsthand. And
go race it. Run a camera.
We love that you tune into Racer TV, but stay off the message boards with the crazy conspiracy theories because it gets real annoying to listen
You are
to.
Increasing Johnny Gallagher's blood pressure.
Yeah, I know. But Stu out front leading the way. And to that point, I mean, Stu had a lot to say after the last race, you know, and now he's backing up what he said.
Yeah.
Which is, hey, man, we're not out of this thing. We're going to come back, and we're going to do that by winning races. And so far, he's on his way to making that a real possibility, but he's got a lot of heat coming from behind right now.
It is that point in the season. We are not to the silly season part of this yet. Right now, we're in the thick of the season where it's like guys like Stu Baylor, guys like even Grant Baylor prior to today, Jordan Ashburn. It's like put up or shut up time. You've got to start clicking off wins and podiums if you want to get back in this. We heard Ricky Russell echo those thoughts a couple of races ago after his win. Yeah. He said, I just need to get a couple of these, and I'm right back in the conversation. So now, guys, the word is not desperate, but urgency. There's urgency in these guys right now.
Well, I think what these two guys here up front are each thinking is, you know, Ben Kelly has the points lead. He knows the guy. Yes, his, you know, I shouldn't say his teammate, but his training mate, Craig DeLong, is second in points, but having a rough day today and likely to drop back to third in the points as they run, at least. So now it's back the mano-a-mano battle between him and Stu Baylor that we saw in 2021. We saw early in this season the first two guys to grab wins. The next best thing for these guys, yes, being the points leader is important, but also, you know, the momentum. The first guy to win two is such a big, you know, statement. I think it kind of puts that fear in the hearts of their competitors. There we see your XC2 battle on screen. Liam Draper making that left turn and heading for the woods. Mike Witkowski still right behind him. And at this point, I'm starting to think that Mike Witkowski is doing nothing but following Liam Draper. We've yet to see him get up to the rear wheel and really like they've really not seemed like they're even battling. It's just Mike Witkowski seems completely content to let Liam Draper lead, which is a great strategy. He doesn't have to think. He doesn't have to choose lines. He just follows the rider in front of him. Liam's doing a great job of picking those lines. The question is, does Mike have his spot picked out? Does he have a line? Does he have a section of the racetrack where he feels he can carry a little more speed around the outside or whatever it may be? You know, this one's really, I think, going to come down to the wire. And as it was brought up, you know, these guys are very much in the mix of the championship points right now. As they run, you know, they are the kind of bringing Stu closer to Ben in the points. But if Ben and Stu are able to open up that gap even more, you know, then ultimately those guys fall back behind them in the points, and that points gap widens up front.
Such a testament to both Liam Draper and Mike Witkowski, too, of answering to that pressure late in a race, not early, not in the first hour and a half, in the last hour and a half of a race. Those guys answering to the pressure. You got to think Liam Draper is probably going nuts. He is sick of every time he turns his head, he sees the 282.
There we see Stu Baylor through on screen. Here comes Ben Kelly. Here comes Johnny Gerard. Again, these guys still just absolutely glued to each other. Not a lot of ground made up, probably kind of balanced right around that 10, 11 second mark. I didn't actually look at the clock, so I'm just assuming based on distance it's about the same. But the top three, as they run physically, now keep in mind, you see how close those three are physically. As they checked in at the completion of lap number 6, there was 2 more riders in the mix in the overall on corrected time, the XC2 guys we've talked about. So that gives you a visual representation of just how close this race is. Here it is, Zach. There's your XC2 leader.
Yeah, without a doubt. Back to your point you were talking about earlier as far as who's pushing the pace between these two guys right here. Mike in the perfect spot, not having to really make those decisions, the line choices. But I'm going to be curious. Like you said, a lot of times these guys picking stuff out in advance. They've got a spot or something figured out. With the 2-lap card out, they know exactly how much time is left. And so we'll see if Witkowski's got some tricks up his sleeves here for late in the race. But both of these riders, I mean, beyond just a phenomenal XC2 performance, to be up here in the mix for this overall win, just really good to see for both of them.
Well, let me tell you what I think and I see a little bit on screen here. What I'm seeing a little bit is that it seems like Mike Witkowski and Liam Draper are kind of starting to settle into a chess match, a pace. It seems like Stu Baylor out front trying to sprint away, Ben Kelly and Johnny Gerard trying to bridge that gap. So we're not necessarily seeing it in the times yet, but as we come down and we get this white flag, ultimately I think the overall will play out in such a way that if Mike Witkowski gets aggressive, starts pushing Liam Draper early on in the lap, we could see their pace drive them up and continue to see them in the top 3 overall, potentially even back up there. You know, we saw there's physically only about 12 seconds between 1st and 3rd overall as they run right now, so we could see them go all the way to the front, or we could see them drop out of the top 3 completely based on who pushes the pace more. Is it going to be the 3 boys up front in XC1 or the 2 in XC2? Whoever has the more intensity in this final lap and a half of racing is how this one's going to shake down, Zach.
It's going to be not only fun to watch in XC1 or XC2, but the overall as well. Stay tuned as we get ready to close out the AMSOIL Hoosier GNCC. We're going to grab a word from our sponsors.
Yamaha YZ450F. Narrower, more compact, and lighter. Built to do one thing: go faster. Flexible financing options offered directly through Yamaha are available. See your local Yamaha dealer today.
Born of family values and a homegrown work ethic, Cometic Gaskets seals your machine so you can focus on the finish line. Cometic Gaskets are the competitive standard for racers who demand the very best. Cometic Gaskets are constructed from superior materials designed to perform in the most demanding environment, whether it's championships on the line or a day in the dirt with friends. Professionals and enthusiasts depend on Cometic. Cometic Gaskets, sealing championships since 1989.
AMSOIL runs on freedom and has since 1972. We punish our products firsthand in our world-class laboratories and beyond, because some things can't be learned from a test tube. Run with us.
Last season was my best season ever by far. I won a lot of races. I won a championship, and it was also my first year using ARMA. And one of the things I noticed was just my ability to string good days together. You know, like especially in the summertime in Florida, where you're riding every day and the heat index is 108 degrees and you're doing 230s and going to the gym and bicycle and all that stuff. I think in the past I've been super inconsistent day to day. Yeah, I may have a good race here or a good day during the week there, but overall I think where I improved the most was my consistency in my recovery.
Tires, a division of Greenball Corp, has been in the tire business for over 44 years. We're passionate about developing quality tires that perform great and bring extraordinary value to our customers. Whether you're looking for a tire that can handle your off-road adventures, need a reliable tire to take you from job site to job site, or simply want a tire with a beefier look that won't break the bank, then check out Canati Tires.
The United States Motorcycle Coaching Association has been setting a standard for motorcycle coaching since 2016. Coaching is important for all riders, no matter the age or skill level. The USMCA connects riders with coaches, whether the rider is just starting out on their motorcycling journey, to a competitive amateur racer looking to reach their next milestone, or the professional athlete trying to clinch a title. Download the Motorcycle Coaching app and get connected to a USMCA certified coach today.
Every race, every day, in every way. Print, social, digital, video, photo. Every race, every day. Every result, every story, every rider, everything. Moto every day. With Racer X. 30-second card is up. We've talked all about it. We've watched practice and qualifying. We've theorized. We've bench raced. Now it is time to go. Ropes are up. Gates down. Side by side we go. Jet Lord, Justin Cooper in front of the crowd. From Chase Sexton. Did anyone else get up in the mix? They have been 1-2 in the last 7 motos of this championship. Here we go.
And we're back to the part we all want to skip, but we gotta wait. We don't get to see the action unless we wait. They're gonna be coming. Will it be Stu Baylor still leading the way? Will it be Ben Kelly? Will it be Johnny Gerard? Will the XC2 boys of Liam Draper and Mike Witkowski have pushed and prodded their way all the way up to where they take over the overall lead again, like they had earlier in this Hoosier GNCC just a few laps ago?
Yeah, this has been exciting all across the board, and really your 2 leaders there in the XC2 class, I feel like are the ones to watch. They're kind of controlling the way this is all going to shape out, where they end up on the overall, and it looks like Johnny Gerard there in top 5 overall. But yeah, no, your XC2, and we had talked about it before the break, even Mike Witkowski stuck to the back of the AmPro Yamaha of Liam Draper, and that's kind of setting the pace. You've got battles up front in XC1 and battles up front in XC2, and it's more who's going to push it more.
Leader, Stu Baylor on screen, and he has a shadow. Is that one of the Red Bull FMF KTMs? It appeared.
It sure looked like it, but I did not see if it was 530.
Here is, so there is,
I think
that's Ben right there.
Oh, yeah.
Nope, so I don't know if that could have been
blue numbers
Johnny.
On Ben. There we go. 530.
Ben wears a Shoei helmet, Johnny an Alpine Star helmet. I've been trying to pick up Johnny G tips here to pick out little things here.
So that is Ben. I don't know. It could. There was a bike right behind Stu. We couldn't exactly tell who it was. Could have been Johnny Gerard, the 969. He could be up into that number 2 spot. There was also another few bikes that came through there covered in mud. There is your XC2 leader, Liam Draper, and surprise, surprise, right behind him, the 282 Phoenix Honda Racing of Mike Witkowski. Liam Draper just looks smooth. He's up on the pegs. Looks like he's kind of got this one in control. But you got to wonder, that white flag waving, man, this has been both these guys wanting it, needing this so bad. You know, who's going to come out on top? We're going back to replay. So here is obviously the 514 of Stu Baylor leading the way. See if we can make out who it is behind him.
Is it 969? Get your magnifying glass.
Yes, that is the 969 of Johnny Gerard. Johnny Gerard up into the 2nd place spot and right on the rear wheel of Stu Baylor. Johnny Gerard now playing spoiler for the day.
Well, and Gerard had to work his way back around Ben Kelly to get up to that spot. So, yeah, he's really found something coming into the closing stages of this race. And could that be number 6 on the season?
It could be. We could keep this streak going. 6 different winners. And we've still got Liam Draper and Mike Witkowski back there that each could play a spoiler for the overall and also be a. So we've got 3 shots at a 6th new winner and only 2 old guard guys that have already won. And that is your current leader, Stu Baylor, and your current 3rd place physically as they run Ben Kelly. We should see these guys popping out into the field here in just a moment. We'll get some drone shots. We'll see this battle coming to the finish line. Is Johnny Gerard able to make his way around for the physical lead? Will Liam Draper and Mike Witkowski be able to do it on corrected time?
And I think, Johnny, and you can speak to this too, Johnny Gerard, we know he's not going to give up. He's not going to quit. That was what made us love the guy in the XC2, is you knew you were going to get 110% out of Johnny Gerard on a race day. So I don't see him taking second and saying, okay, good day, great day at the track. He's going to go after Stu.
Oh, here's the battle. We're told we have the drone footage coming.
On cue.
Johnny Gerard out front. Stu Baylor has gone down and given up the lead to Johnny Gerard. Johnny Gerard leading the way. Guys, you want to talk about somebody that's got something to prove. We've talked about it. Liam Draper, Mike Witkowski both got something to prove. This guy, way something more to prove.
Big time.
I mean, it's been a disastrous season for Johnny Gerard so far, and here he is leading the way with a lap to go.
What's interesting, you know, coming out of that XC2, so much hype around Johnny Gerard. Oh, he's going to get up there. He's going to be a contender. He's a podium regular guy. It's not come to fruition through 5 rounds of racing. It's been subpar for Johnny, and I think he'd even say that himself. This is huge.
Guys, this is more than fall. We've got riders running. We've got spectators running down into the woods trying to help a stuck rider rider, which appears to be Stu Baylor. It is Stu Baylor. He is stuck. Can't even get up, and it looks like Ben Kelly now enters the fray. He's able to make it up through, and he is just behind. Stu Baylor gave up a ton of time. You want to talk about a swing of events. Here comes some more lapped riders through, and Ben Kelly on the tail end of them. So now it is Johnny Girard leading the way, 36.8 seconds back to Stu Baylor. And just behind him, as they run, 6 seconds back, Ben Kelly. What a change of events we've had here in just 200 yards of racetrack.
A costly error by Stu Baylor right there, giving up just shy 37 seconds. And now he is in between the teammates, Girard and Kelly.
Johnny Girard has a clear path to victory.
Yes.
It is his to lose at this point. 36 seconds is the gap back to Stu Baylor. Now, yes, Stu Baylor and Ben Kelly are going to be charging, but I'm sorry. A gap of 37 seconds on the last lap, that is a bridge too far to cross for even those guys, unless Johnny Girard makes mistakes. If he goes out there and hits his marks and puts in his lap, Johnny Girard has this one in the bag.
Yeah, Johnny, he's got to do well, though. He's got to do it for...
He's got to do it.
For
he's
what, another 20 minutes?
Yeah. Roughly a 20-minute lap. That one was 20 minutes, 41 seconds was the lap. Here is Stu Baylor now in that second-place spot, and that's not 6 seconds. That's about 6 feet. You can see Ben Kelly taking a little hydration from Mom there and sets out in pursuit of that second-place position. And again, now this is the battle for the points lead that we're seeing on
Great
screen.
point.
And a huge swing.
Yes.
To your question there, Johnny, you mentioned right there, Ben Kelly taking a little bit of hydration, but he loses some crucial time. He's been right on the rear wheel of Stu. Talk about the long-sightedness that takes. Hey, look, I know I'm going to need this water here in a little bit. Let me drop back a couple of bike lanes, go ahead and grab this. Ben looking long-term here to put a charge, coming to the checkered flag.
Guys, shake up. Overall positions as they run, the XC1 class has retaken the top 3. Johnny Girard leading the way. Stu Baylor in second. Ben Kelly in third. Liam Draper in that 4th place spot overall. And Mike Witkowski only 2.2 seconds behind him in 5th place overall. But here's the gap. 2 hours, 24 minutes, 24 seconds for Ben Kelly in third overall. 2 hours, 24 minutes, 24 seconds, 0.4. 1/10 of a second is the gap from third to 4th overall as they run. Ben Kelly on screen, currently in that 3rd place spot. Don't see Stu Baylor there. He just went out of screen. And now we'll be waiting and watching for our XC2, number 1 and number 2. Man, this one's getting heated. Talk about a podium battle. We're talking fractions of a second separating. And again, Stu Baylor in there as well. So we've got 4 riders battling over 2 podium spots is what it comes down to.
And here we go, I believe.
Not quite yet, but there is Stu Baylor. So Johnny Girard is in and gone. He's already through the FMF PowerPoint here at the 3-mile marker, and that gap has opened up just a little bit back to Ben Kelly with 6 seconds, back down to basically 6 inches, and stopping for that water bottle. And also lapper is a big factor there, Zach. To your point, the long-sightedness of looking ahead, you know, that hydration, these guys know they need to take on their calories. They need to have the hydration to be able to go the distance. And it's, you know, it's one of those things where you've got to have the plan, you've got to stick to it. You don't want to get halfway through that last lap, start cramping. You know, Stu Baylor obviously has that hydration pack. He feels that's enough to let him go. Ben Kelly runs the hip hydration pack. I don't know if it's sucked dry, or a lot of times what we don't see is, so here is Johnny Girard. Here's your leader on screen. Let's give this man some love. He is leading, and every mile that clicks off, he becomes that much closer to his first ever XC1 and overall win, with a 36-second gap as they come in at the white flag. And we'll see what it is when they come out here in the fields. Hopefully this drone shot can get us what we want, because we want to know the gap.
Going to be so interesting, and it's hard not to root for a guy like Johnny Girard, former XC2 champ. He had all the injuries last season when he was defending that. Lyndon Snodgrass emerges as the champ in the XC2. Girard steps up to the XC1. Huge expectations for him coming into the season, and I think it took 6 rounds for him to get there, but finally he is back in the conversation.
Well, and on top of that, his teammate's Ben Kelly. That's tough too. You know,
for sure.
Those two, Ben's been having some good results, and even our guest commentator Brock Glover said, you know, you want to beat your teammate. And so Johnny, there's only 2 guys, only one can finish better. So right now, really good to see Johnny showing that he belongs here on this Red Bull FMF KTM team, and he belongs out front here in the XC1 class.
Well, and it's, we talked it, I said earlier, it's been a disastrous season. There we see Ben Kelly across the field. Stu Baylor just ahead of him there. So he basically has this whole field section on Stu Baylor and Ben Kelly. Man, that's a big gap. But again, it was 36 seconds at the finish. It's looking like it's probably there or maybe a little less. But if you're Johnny Girard, you don't sweat 2 seconds here or there. You just don't want to give up the 5 and 10 second, mistakes, stalls, falls, tangle with lappers kind of a thing. Stu Baylor has now opened up a pretty substantial gap over Ben Kelly. So lappers not going the way, or else Stu Baylor just really pouring the coal to it. Stu Baylor now, what was a 6 second down to 6 inches, back up to now looking like about 10 seconds.
Look at Stu there. You say he went way from the outside, cutting out of those main ruts. Definitely putting a little bit of distance there through the field section. And there is Ben Kelly. These guys looking for smooth real estate, trying to get traction. These field sections dried out significantly, so they're probably pretty prime in some of the outside lines there as far as traction and being able to go wide open, headed back into the woods. Great shots here from this Yamaha live drone. So fun to be able to see which way they're going, the way they diamond off the corners.
One of my favorite parts about it, afternoon race, especially on Sundays, is watching. You see how the lines have developed with amateur riders on the track. And so you're thinking, okay, there's where the good lines are, and then the pro guy doesn't take it. That's because it's not necessarily the good line. He says, that's something the C riders developed. I don't want that line. Love that. So cool to see.
And Jackson and I were even talking about this earlier this morning. When it's really wet in the morning,
guys, I don't mean to cut in. XC2 just charging into the woods. It's still wheel to wheel. Not that we expect
it's time for Wachowski, though, make a move.
Oh, it definitely.
Where's that spot?
Both of those guys had a little more sense of urgency. They were harder on the throttle, carrying the front wheel through the ruts. They weren't just cruising on the pegs anymore. They were hard on it. They don't want to give up even fractions of a second at this point. They know how close it is.
Now, what is our gap looking like as far as the overall here? How much time would they have to make up if they're both picking up the pace and Johnny kind of by himself out front?
Well, it was 36 seconds back to second overall, which is Stu Baylor. He was at a 2:24.17. Those guys, Wachowski and Draper, were 2:24.24. So 7 seconds was all they needed to make up to get to second overall. But it would be 7 plus the 36, so it would be 43 seconds would be what they would need to make up on Johnny Girard. Again, as they checked in at the completion of lap number 7, a lot of things may have changed since then. There was Girard on screen. I didn't get a time on it. Maybe Adam Gordon did. Here comes Stu Baylor in second. And again, that gap has definitely opened up back to Ben Kelly. He is not able to match the pace of Stu Baylor. Stu Baylor charging forward. You got to wonder, is Stu Baylor's motivation right now just trying to get away from Ben Kelly? Or is he thinking, hey, I'm going after Johnny. I want this win back. Again, leading just 27 seconds is what we're told the gap is. So he's made up 9 seconds in 5 miles of racetrack.
Just unbelievable. In not favorable conditions either. But at this point in the race, you know where the good lines are. It's not changed that much, right?
No. And here comes your leader in XC2 course. Nope, not yet. Looked like him for a moment, but it was not. There they are. There's your XC2. It is still Draper leading the way, and Wachowski in second. Man, they're definitely a lot of urgency with those two guys right now. They're pushing. They're giving it everything they got. They want to take it right down to the finish line. They want to battle for this win.
Well, guys, I think I'm going to go try to find Jackson and get ready to head down to the finish line so we can talk to whoever it ends up being.
There you go.
God knows it could be
point, it could be any mix of those 5 guys in the top 5 overall. So you're going to have a lot of microphones. You guys get down there, do great work for us. We look forward to hearing what these guys have to say, because if they have anything what we think it was like out there, it's going to be some wild stories coming in after this. What is going to be about 2 hours and 45 minutes, give or take, of racing action by the time this one's over.
Got to hand it to, real quick, the track crew and the guys out there. Normally a 3-hour race, and we had to abbreviate the youth race. We had to abbreviate the AM race, but we got everybody in. So shout out to those guys making it happen. And hey, darn near up to that 3-hour mark. And if you'd asked us or said this morning, hey, you're going to race pretty much a full 3-hour race, said, you're crazy. It's not going to happen. There's no way. So impressive.
Yeah, it always amazes me what these guys are able to do with the track and make it raceable for us. And we're going to find out just how this one shakes back when we come back from a word from our sponsors, and we're going to have more racing action here on Racer TV.
all-new Yamaha YZ450F. Narrower, more compact, and lighter. Built to do one thing: go faster. Flexible financing options offered directly through Yamaha are available. See your local Yamaha dealer today.
Born of family values and a homegrown work ethic, Kinetic Gaskets seals your machine so you can focus on the finish line. Kinetic Gaskets are the competitive standard for racers who demand the very best. Kinetic Gaskets are constructed from superior materials designed to perform in the most demanding environment, whether it's championships on the line or a day in the dirt with friends. Professionals and enthusiasts depend on Kinetic. Kinetic Gaskets, sealing championships since 1989.
AMSOIL runs on freedom and has since 1972. We punish our products firsthand in our world-class laboratories and beyond, because some things can't be learned from a test tube. Run with us.
Last season was my best season ever by far. I won a lot of races. I won a championship, and it was also my first year using ARMA. And one of the things I noticed was just my ability to string good days together. You know, like especially in the summertime in Florida, where you're riding every day and the heat index is 108 degrees and you're doing 230s and going to the gym and bicycle and all that stuff. I think in the past I've been super inconsistent day to day. Yeah, I may have a good race here or a good day during the week there, but overall, I think where I improved the most was my consistency in my recovery.
Tires, a division of Greenball Corp, has been in the tire business for over 44 years. We're passionate about developing quality tires that perform great and bring extraordinary value to our customers. Whether you're looking for a tire that can handle your off-road adventures, need a reliable tire to take you from job site to job site, or simply want a tire with a beefier look that won't break the bank, then check out Canati Tires.
The United States Motorcycle Coaching Association has been setting a standard for motorcycle coaching since 2016. Coaching is important for all riders, no matter the age or skill level. The USMCA connects riders with coaches, whether the rider is just starting out on their motorcycling journey, to a competitive amateur racer looking to reach their next milestone, or the professional athlete trying to clinch a title. Download the Motorcycle Coaching app and get connected to a USMCA certified coach today.
Every race, every day, in every way. Print, social, digital, video, photo. Every race, every day. Every result, every story, every rider, everything. Moto every day. With Racer X. 30-second card is up. We've talked all about it. We've watched practice and qualifying. We've theorized. We've bench raced. Now it is time to go. Ropes are up. Gates down. Side by side we go. Jet Lord, Justin Cooper in front of the crowd. Linger from Chase Sexton. Can anyone else get up in the mix? They have been 1-2 in the last 7 motos of this championship. Here we go.
And welcome back, GNCC Live here on RacerTV.com. Mikey Wayne's here alongside Johnny Gallagher. You are watching the Hoosier GNCC round number 6. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we getting down to the nitty-gritty right here. Mile marker number 9, Johnny Gerard. Will he be our 6th winner in 6 rounds of racing?
There he is on screen, the 969 on cue. The Red Bull FMF KTM leading the way. Does not have heat from behind, at least not in the form of physical pressure. What is the gap? 36 seconds is what it was at the finish line. 29 seconds it had come down to in our last camera shot. I'll tell you right now, I don't know what the number is, but it's not at all 29 seconds. It is less, but I just don't think Stu Baylor has enough time left. He's making up time. We're told the gap is 18 seconds.
Okay.
18 seconds with only about a minute and a half of racetrack left. I just don't think there's enough time. But we saw the lead change a number of times in this section of racetrack already. We've got that gnarly little rut coming up to the finish line. Johnny picks the wrong line there. It could be all over. Here is your 3rd place rider physically on screen. Ben Kelly has given up a bunch more time to Stu Baylor. Not able to get himself back up in that draft of Stu Baylor and draw himself up closer to Johnny Gerard. But what we will see next, folks, will be them popping out into a field and a checkered flag waving. One of the last remaining questions is this one right here. How far back are Liam Draper and Mike Witkowski? Will they be the spoilers for this overall podium or potentially even an overall win here today?
Johnny Gerard's best.
On screen.
Go ahead.
Stu Baylor leading the way. Still, Mike Witkowski just behind him there in 2nd. And, man, they are pretty close to Ben Kelly. I think they've got Ben Kelly on corrected time. Whether or not they've got Stu Baylor and Johnny Gerard, I don't know. 118 from Stu back to them, we're told, is the gap, meaning that your leader, Johnny Gerard, and Stu Baylor, definitely safe there in the 1 and 2 spots. Would be from Johnny back 118, so that mixes it up a little bit. Would likely be Johnny safe with the overall for sure, Stu Baylor really close there, and Ben Kelly on the bubble for sure, potentially getting bounced off that podium. But I think we're just moments away from seeing our drone shot and these guys popping out in the field here.
Been an impressive ride so far. Taking a look at the results this season, Johnny Gerard, best finish this year, a 5th. He had a 5th back in round number 3 in Georgia.
In a mud race.
Yeah. But this one just incredible.
Mikey, let's look at the screen because I think we are just a few breaths away from what we should see. The 969 Red Bull FMF KTM of Johnny Gerard potentially riding through the last 2 straightaways and one little section of woods with, as we talked about, a gnarly deep rut that we've seen Stu Baylor stuck in. We saw Jordan Ashburn's bike give up in that section.
In there, yeah.
It's been a gnarly little section. He pops out. It is the 969 of Johnny Gerard leading the way, carefully, cautiously getting on the gas, making sure he hits the rut, knowing he's got a little bit of a gap over Stu Baylor, and the emotions running through this man's mind right now. On his way after a lackluster start to 2023, he has just 1 rut between him and the finish line, Mikey.
I'm so excited for it. 6 rounds of racing, 6 different winners, and getting it done here at the Hoosier GNCC will be Johnny Gerard. What a class act right there. I'm giving him a shout out. Went to go see Johnny Gerard, stopped by to see his buddy, my buddy Lucas Grounds, for his graduation on Friday night. 2 short days later, he comes out here in Crawfordsville and gets his first overall win of the season. And there is Stu Baylor checking in for a 2nd place finish, a hard-earned, well-fought race by both men.
It's a lot of camaraderie and sportsmanship there. You know, Stu Baylor wanted this win today, felt he needed, but he knows Johnny Gerard's been in a struggle here as of late, and to see a guy, they get along great, to see him get his first win, you're sure that he's happy for him. Looking like Ben Kelly now crossing the line. Actually, no, not Ben Kelly crossing the line yet. Got a couple more lapped riders coming through, and man, just a train of them. Look at these lappers. You got to wonder how maybe we saw Ben Kelly come through. Or nope, there is Ben. And wow, that could not be a good sign for the overall there for Ben. Because it looked like he was really caught up in those lappers coming to the finish line. We've not seen Liam Draper yet, but I think we're going to see Liam Draper and Mike Witkowski are going to surpass Ben Kelly on corrected time. Here it is, Mike Witkowski getting it done. The last minute pass over Liam Draper. Indiana boy Mike Witkowski on that Phoenix Racing Honda gets it done, grabs the win, and you can see the disappointment on Liam Draper's body language and face, ripping those goggles off. Absolutely gutted with this one, folks. Third place overall, Mike Witkowski. Liam Draper, fourth place overall. Both of those guys eclipsing Ben Kelly. I'm so excited I can't even speak English words. Eclipsing Ben Kelly for the overall, dropping him back to fifth place in the overall, having points implications. Stu Baylor second, 25 points. Ben Kelly fifth, 16 points. So that is a 9-point jump back to Ben Kelly, and it was a 15 points, so 6 points now is the gap. Ben Kelly with a 6-point lead over Stu Baylor in the overall championship standings. Look at that, man. He dug deep today. Almost was able to get to the back of Johnny Gerard, but Johnny Gerard would not be denied grabbing the win here today.
You can't say enough about Johnny Gerard and the performance he put on here today at the Hoosier GNCC. Mike Witkowski putting it on the box for a top 3 OA who finished third overall. A heartbreaker, an emotional heartbreaker for Liam Draper. And how about it, Johnny? We talked about, I know Liam's going to be upset about not getting that win, and I completely sympathize, but hell of a race by Liam Draper today. Both of those guys have had some struggles late in races, Johnny. They fade. Wasn't the case today.
No, and here's the thing, Mikey. You know, this is a brutal sport, physically, mentally, and one of the most brutal parts of it is everyone out here wants it. Only one can win.
That's right.
Those guys both rode an amazing race today. Whatever elapsed there in the last few sections of racetrack, you know, somewhere along the way, Mike Witkowski either just held it on a little longer or had a good line or whatever it may be, but Liam Draper should definitely not hang his head.
That's right. Well, we saw Johnny Gerard maybe going back to the rig, perhaps, but we have Stu Baylor standing by with Jackson Burrell.
Here with Stu Baylor. Stu getting second on the day, man. What a fight it was. We saw you up front at some point during the races, fighting tooth and nail. Take us to Hoosier.
Shit, at some point I led about the whole damn thing.
Hey, man, you look good up there, too.
Man, Johnny tracked me down. There must have been a beacon on my back tire because he tracked me down quick. He ran me down. I had a couple mistakes there with 2 laps to go, and just got stuck with my foot under my tire. I was trying to do feet on the pegs, and somehow my feet were stuck in the rut with my bike. Couldn't get out, and lost a good bit of time, and felt those guys coming. And man, when you get to pushing your bike like that, it just smokes you. And then they're going on the last lap. BK and I came together all with some lappers in this rut and lost about 40 seconds. Put my head down, did everything we could, but 15 seconds shy. And, you know, I felt like it was my race, but man, I'm pumped to see Johnny G get one. He needs it. The whole family needs it. Super good dude. It's good to see another new winner. So 6 rounds, 6 winners. That's badass. Be pretty cool if we could see the rest of XC1 maybe click off the win. But no, hats off to Johnny. Rode a hell of a race, and you know, it was a good day in points for me and the team after a DNF last race. So shout out to the whole team, Rocky Mountain, KTM, Teely Racing, Dunlop Tires, the whole crew behind me, Redline Oil, HBD Graphics, Shoei Helmets, 9.2 goggles, got the Baylor edition. Check them out. We'll have them on the website this week. Cherubies, everybody behind us, my wife, my family, the track crew for doing the best they could out here today. It was man, those first couple laps, every time you came around, there was a new section. So it was a shit shoot out there, but man, we had fun.
Stu Baylor bringing home second on the day here in the XC1 class, getting some serious points there in the championship.
Well, Stu Baylor powwowing with Zach Herron. Sorry about that. I thought Jackson was with him. Zach Herron with him. So Stu Baylor got a word in with him. We got the radios going out trying to get Johnny Gerard back so we can get a Racer TV interview with him. I know we're going to talk with the 282 of Mike Witkowski. who finished third OA, and hopefully we can get a word in with Ben Kelly. Quite frankly, I'd love to hear from Liam Draper, too.
Yeah.
It might be an awkward situation, but bottom line is,
those
like
guys
I said,
gotta have
heck
a
of a
story.
race.
Yeah.
It was a great race. I want to hear how that pass came about, maybe from both perspectives.
Yeah, that was a wild one for sure. I mean, that one played out all the way right down to the finish line. We saw them at the 9-mile marker, and the track was a little bit abbreviated, obviously, leading there and towards the finish, so it wasn't even probably but a mile to the finish from there, and we saw the lead change hands, and we do see Mike Witkowski there, a very relieved face and a very happy Phoenix Honda rider. You can see him giving the fist bumps, and it looks like we've got Jackson down there ready to get his words on how the day went.
All right, guys, I'm here with your third overall, Mike Witkowski. Man, Mike, take me through it from your point of view.
Man, I just got out to a really good start. Phoenix Honda really got me out there and just kind of just rode smart from there, picked good lines. Me and Liam just connected and caught some XC1 guys and just latched on and just had a really smooth day. It felt almost effortless, but honestly, it's so nice to be up here. I have no words, and I'm just so stoked.
All right, guys, that is your third overall today, Mike Witkowski.
Man, if you're going to get your first win of the season, first win on a new team, what better way to do it than put yourself on the overall podium in your home state,
in your old
friends, your family, everybody here to cheer you on. I mean, what a day for Mike Witkowski and that Phoenix Honda Racing team.
Just so cool. Proud of you, Mike. I know, listen, if you ask him, he'll say, I'm from South Carolina, but listen, it's still Indiana Hoosier. Today, Mike Witkowski, you're a Hoosier again in my heart.
Looks like we've got Jackson and Zach wandering around down there. They are looking for Johnny Gerard feverishly, trying to find him, see if we can get an interview for his first ever XC1 overall. This, folks, a little public service announcement. If you win a GNCC race, stick around. Somebody's going to want to talk to you.
That's it.
They got, we got some thousands of fans that were watching this race play out on TV. They want to hear how it all went down. We're told Johnny is on his way back down to the finish, so we'll let's recap this one, give him a minute, and then if not, we're going to have to roll the credits. But
that's true.
What a day, Mikey.
Yeah, incredible, Johnny. I mean, it just can't be said enough. 6 rounds of racing now, 6 different winners. It's not a cliche. This is a historical season in GNCC. Johnny Gerard, your latest winner. Baylor taking second. Mike Witkowski getting it done from the XC2 in the 3 spot. Liam Draper, a heartbreaker, but nonetheless amazing ride. Boys, we look down through this, Johnny. Yeah, you're right. You got Cody Barnes in there. You got Rudy Barbosa. You got Ryder Lafferty. So many XC2 guys in the mix in this top 10 today. Obviously, Ben Kelly, XC1. Craig DeLong, XC1 Strang, XC1. Outside of that, XC2 had a day.
Yeah, Rudy Barbosa coming off 2 wins, ending up 4th place, just off the podium. But I'm assuming, looking at it, he will still be your points leader because he finished ahead of Ryder Lafferty, who was behind him in the points. So that.
All right, guys, I believe we got Johnny. If y'all still got time,
there we go. We'll take him. We got Jackson Burrell with Johnny Gerard riding down there on an e-bike, making sure we want to make sure this guy gets his love. Johnny Gerard with the first win. Jackson, tell us how it all went down.
All right, guys, I'm here with the Johnny Gerard for the first time ever. Johnny, take us through it from your point of view, man.
Yeah, it was a gnarly race. I fell back a little bit the first lap, and I don't know, maybe got discouraged a little bit, and just kept plugging away and found myself passing guys and changed my goggles, got clear vision, and yeah, found myself near the front. I could see the leaders, and third to last lap, I got stuck twice, was wrenching my bike out of the mud. I thought my heart was going to blow up. I thought it was over there. Kind of, Ben caught me, passed me, I latched onto him, and rode smooth. He ended up tipping over, past him. I was getting pit boards, catching Stu. I just put my head down, kept charging, seen Stu. We kind of came together a little bit, kind of got the better half of it, and got in the lead and just dropped the hammer. I knew it was now or never, and yeah, it was a hell of a race.
All right, guys, that is your overall winner, Johnny Gerard. Well, 6 winners in 6 races now, guys. What a race it was.
Mikey, that was the best run-on sentence I've ever heard in my entire life. Pure emotion from Johnny Gerard. This is a guy, we gotta go, we gotta cut, but one thing we need to say, Johnny Gerard came out of nowhere a few years ago.
Yes.
Out of the New England area, showed up as a privateer, battling Charlie Mullins and Caleb Russell back in 2013. Fast forward 10 years, he's a GNCC overall winner.
It's incredible. And like we said earlier, always going to get 110% out of Johnny Gerard.
He was ready to let his heart explode to win
this race. He's like, I thought my heart was going to explode. Congratulations, Johnny Gerard. Proud of you. Well, hey, folks, on behalf of Jackson Burrell, Johnny Gallagher, Zach Herron, our camera operators, Ryan, Adam, Matt, Josh, and John, our drone pilot, Gabe Scholl, our spotter, Hollywood, Dave Kripe, our EIC, Jordan McFadden, our director, Dylan Acor, producer, Adam Gordon, and, of course, our executive producer, Miss Carrie Jo Russell. I'm Mikey Waynes. We'll see you at the races.